All right, I think we're live. Oh, wait. Okay, I think we're live. All right, here we go. All right, welcome to the stream. What's up, ATF Media, South to West? You're glad this is back? Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, with like adding, it's like a byproduct of adding more wrestling is that like I've got to rotate some the other stuff around. But yeah, I'm definitely glad to get back into it. Of course, today we have the return of Sightings. Tomorrow is, oh my God, I'm like so I feel like I have this like incredibly like heavy like weight on me for tomorrow. Ah, what's up, Vinny Slugga? Hey, what's up, F Wood? But tomorrow's the last episodes of Prime Time with Joe. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. Cicero's playing with his bird toy. Tomorrow's the last episodes of Prime Time. Friday is a return to Memphis Wrestling. Saturday is Boit Watch, and I do have a couple people that honestly, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's gonna be really. I'm very interested to see what you guys' reaction is to a couple of the new people on Boit Watch. But then next week, we're gonna return with Luke West on Monday. I'm trying to get work with Grace to get one of the old streams. I asked her if she could look for the Everyone's an F Slur stream. I thought that was a good one, so hopefully she'll get back to me. But that's pretty much it. On the movie front, I did request all the badass movies. Yeah, anything else? Oh, you know what you know what I'm gonna finally review the Star Wars prequels on here, so that'll be exciting. Does Vinny Slugga think Russian drones being shot down? Man, some people are freaking out over that. Did you guys see anybody watch Ruby's stream yesterday where she was like freaking out over AI? Like, we have so many literal, actual problems right in front of us, and Ruby's concerned about like what she's going to go back to school for because all the AI is going to take all the jobs or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. And like, she doesn't want to. She thinks I don't know. I don't want to get into her whole celibacy thing, but it's I think it's funny. Wook Lest. Yeah, Luke West. Yeah. Luke Weast is his username, though. But that's pretty much it. I think that's all the news I got for you. Oh, next week is going to be the last of the Austin Idol episodes. So we'll have seen everything that I'm aware of that's available for that Austin Idol promotion. Probably, I'm assuming we'll just do it Tuesday, then we'll rotate something in on Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know. Ruby seems to think that like I don't think Ruby is doing any research. I think she's watching videos on YouTube and just taking everything she sees as fact. Like she's saying that like AI is already replacing everybody, but I don't think she's looking at like the problems that's causing and that people are being hired back. You know what I mean? Like I just think she and again, I know she's like being alarmist for entertainment purposes, but I don't know. I would just think there's so many like actual real world problems. But I guess that's the point of something like that, right? Is to make you not think about the fixable problems around you, but to focus on some like bigger than, you know, something that's so big like, oh, I'm worried about it, but I can't possibly help it. Well, a lot of people do that ATF media. It's not just the MAGA people, like a lot of people in my experience lately, especially since the pandemic, probably before then, but I mean, you were really forced to look at it then, is that people just don't want to like, they don't give a shit anymore if something is true or not. If it fits their narrative, like that's good enough. And like, and it's everybody. The Hassan people are like that. The Gaza people are like that. But yeah, I don't want to get into a whole political thing today though. But yeah, I just think a lot of people don't care anymore what's right or wrong or true or false. They just care about like, does this advance? Does this? I don't know. What would you say? Does this validate my worldview? Sounds about right. Speaking of people making stuff up, let's get into sightings. This is season 3, episode 13. Ava Berry Lights, Aliens Tommy knockers. Oh my God, we got a cat fight. And the wow signal.
On this edition of Sightings, what's the British military hiding?
Two Army helicopters approached us and appeared to be harassing us.
Startling videotape reveals the truth behind crop circle formations. Then, is the human race the result of an extraterrestrial experiment?
We are the direct descendants
Great
of
segue.
the intelligent people who landed here.
Also,
Fuck facts.
dangerous
Weed
entities
every
are
day, though.
terrorizing this hotel.
It's even possible these people don't know that they're dead.
Plus, a
And
young girl's
writing
premonition
experts.
turns to tragedy.
She drew that picture. She knew she was going to die.
And
It was exactly the kind of
I'm too
signal that
pissed
we were
about my
looking for.
0
Narrowband
calorie
signal, clearly of intelligent
citrus
origin.
drop
have
going
we
up
made
in
contact
price.
with a civilization from another galaxy. Finally, an update. The sculptor whose psychic vision...
Dude, I'm also mad because fucking it's just the prices are getting like so crazy. Like the I don't buy a lot of them, but I did notice that like a lot of the even like the wrestling collectibles have like skyrocketed lately.
helps families find missing loved ones.
I wouldn't want to be a parent out there buying having to buy shit for a kid. $25 for like a cheap like wrestling figure. My God, what's the British military hiding? If only Durunda was here, he could guide us on these things. We'd focus on what's real.
Welcome to Sightings.
Graffiti
I'm Tim
ordinances.
White. The ancient hamlet of Avebury in southwestern England is the site of two distinctly different supernatural events. In the Avebury area, more than 300 crop circles have been discovered since 1990. And then there are the bizarre glowing orbs that locals have dubbed the Avebury Mystery Lights. The two phenomena seemed unrelated until recently, when videotape was shot showing what appears to be a glowing ball of light actually creating a crop circle.
Oh wow, look at this
This
shit.
is a military helicopter circling a field in Avebury, England, as captured on home video. The researchers who shot this tape believe it is evidence that the British government is involved in secret crop circle research. Watch carefully as the helicopter hovers near a mysterious ball of light in the middle of your screen. In the field below, a crop circle.
The crop circle activity in this area this year.
Oh, that's an actual. Wow, look at these. Hold on a second. Would an alien? Hold on.
We have some crop circle activity in this area this year. Has been quite.
What's the motivation for an alien to make a Spider-Man design?
Considerable. We have something in the region
like
of
in that one. I don't buy that one. Now that looks like something alien.
Over 90% of them are in this area once again.
Some of the crop circles are made by, in my view, extraterrestrials. When you study the material over the last 40 years from many countries, you have solid metallic-looking objects landing, taking off, leaving a characteristic ground feature like.
Yeah, now these are more like what I think crop circles should look like.
Orange inside.
Stephen Trench.
Lights spinning and rotating, and the whole thing was spinning.
Most of the lights that are seen above the crop formations, and some of them are actually seen.
Do you think that sounds like something a British person would say, like to describe a part of a woman's anatomy, like the down in the trench?
In the fields.
They have a lot of like real gutter slang that sounds really nasty.
At the present, we haven't got that little thing that clicks the two together.
Every night, skywatchers ring the hills around Avebury, waiting for a glimpse of the mysterious lights. The following amateur videotapes of unexplained lights in the night sky.
Yeah, the whole idiocracy thing is interesting to me because Camacho wasn't a bad person. Like, he was a good person. He was just dumb. But like, he put the smartest people. From my recollection of the movie, he put smart people in charge of stuff. It didn't really seem like. It seemed to me like Camacho was like a good guy at heart who wanted to do right by the people. He was just too stupid to do it. But like, you know what I mean?
Taken
It's been forever though since I've seen it.
It was only very short-lived. but for the 5 seconds it was there, it was tremendous. It was like looking at something
Yeah,
about the
I
size
don't.
of the
Crop
moon
circles
sat
don't
on
really
the
do it for
rooftop.
me. Well, John
Brilliantly glowing
Holman's home
orange.
video may change
They
that.
looked like orange balls of light. You could see that they were mushroom-shaped, revolving,
Tom Blower.
and emitting orange lights out from the bottom.
Oh, I said his
So we're
name.
quite
Why am I
fascinated
surprised
by
by it?
I describe it as being spherical, oval-shaped.
I'm drinking this.
Slight orange tinge.
It's called Gorilla
It
Mind.
came over from the left to the right of the trees, then it went back. Then it
Oh,
came
there's
back
Gillian
again.
Trench.
Then all of a sudden, it looked like it tripled in size.
Yeah, it did a
and
little
changed colour
spelunking
to
down in
orange.
down in
But
Gillian's
then after
Trench.
that, we see the white ball came out from the side of it, and that went off to the left, and we never see that no more.
The lights are there, and they're not aircraft, planets, or radio towers. But are they extraterrestrial craft? Most astronomers believe the Avebury Mystery Lights are a natural phenomenon, but so far they don't know much more than that.
At the heart of a lot of genuine sightings of
Paul
of
Devereaux,
UFOs,
Earth scientist.
are these balls of light. Cavorting
What's up,
around
Russell
in
Plunge?
the night sky, perhaps coming down very close, perhaps changing shape.
It's quite possible that those balls of light are a glowing plasma, which is the same type mechanism that we do think is involved in crop circle formation. Plasma
President
being
Camacho.
very simply electrically charged air particles. And they start high in the Earth's atmosphere and come down and towards the ground. So if you have plasma coming from high in the Earth's atmosphere, you should expect.
Oh yeah, I
its
forgot
light
Halloween's
rate to
coming
be
up. I should do
swirling by the
a
time it gets
spooky
anywhere near
live
the
somewhere.
Earth. And that's completely consistent with what we find in
Yeah,
crop
Camacho
circles.
was the president.
It is just conceivable.
What's his name? I can't remember his
that
name. The
some
guy
of
who
the
said that.
circles may result from
Whatever. Terry Crews. Yeah, Terry Crews. I think had the same story that Tony Atlas had. Is that some executive grabbed his pecker or something? And it was like Terry Crews was part of Me Too during that initial wave, which I think is kind of interesting.
balls of light that just touch down and
He
touch
grabbed my
this
pecker.
very responsive surface of a
Pat
cornfield.
Pattison grabbed my pecker.
The ground here is chalk and limestone, crisscrossed with underground
Gatorade
springs.
water the crops.
Some scientists hypothesize that the interaction between the water and the rock creates an electrical charge that either attracts or helps create the lights. But what is
Now, see, if Ruby wants something to actually be concerned about, she should do an episode on the fact that, like, on the soybean situation. That would be an interesting Ruby SpaceX stream.
So strange is that these lights appear to be moving purposefully. And that's, for me, what sets it aside from the natural phenomena to one which may well be controlled by an intelligence of some sort, or indeed in itself may well be intelligent.
I turned and I saw this.
Oh my
glint,
God, look at this guy.
And I thought, what's that? And automatically, almost, I picked my video camera up.
On July 26th,
I think this was
1990,
post,
crop circle researcher Stephen Alexander captured
Well,
this
no, Pat
remarkable
Patterson would have
footage
grabbed
of
Tony
one
Atlas's
mysterious
pecker in the
Earth-like
shower
field near Avebury.
pre-Inside Edition
The
interview.
Earth-like was maneuvering next to a newly formed crop circle.
And this object just actually curved round and dropped into the crop and disappeared for a while. And then it started maneuvering through the crop, and it was glinting and flashing. It's a really intense sort of energy source, it seemed to me. Where's it gone? Then you can see that object actually take off. And in the distance was a tractor driver. And you can actually see the tractor driver stop as the actual object went over the top there.
Where's that piece of paper?
I couldn't explain it. In the back of my mind, I knew it wasn't a bird or a balloon or just something blowing in the wind. I knew that it was something important.
You think he's looking for someone
This
to cut his hair?
videotape of another Earth light above Avebury was taken from a hang glider by Dutch UFO researcher Foka.
Robin of Locksley, yeah.
But
Oh my God, I've
scientists
seen
and
so many
ufologists
fucking
may not
Robin
be
Hood
the
movies
only
lately.
ones interested in these lights. It appears that the British military is also studying the phenomenon.
That is, mind you, look at these bristling with equipment. Right, when we get this here, we can get a picture of him.
I love the fan cam. I love finding weird fan cams. Have you ever been looking for him, Russell Plunge, and come across like just some like weird, tiny, jank like WCW house show? And it's like it's shit camera work, but it's like so interesting to see like new WCW content. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this terrible. I can't even
appeared to be
see what's
happening
going
was
on
that
in the
we had
ring, but I'm gonna watch it
walked
anyway.
into a situation which was undesirable, because what happened was that the 2 Army helicopters approached us and appeared to be harassing us. I mean, he was so close.
Stop
it was
harassing
unbelievable.
us.
One helicopter broke away across this field to the far side of the field to my left, and what you can see on the film is a small white object pulsating,
Where?
identical to Stephen Alexander's,
Bullshit.
very similar to the Dutch people's footage. And
There ain't
others.
nothing there.
And this helicopter
This
went
is just
directly
flat out
to the light, which we could
bullshit
see
from this
on the
guy.
footage.
I don't see a white pulsating object.
He's moving right over it now. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Does that move?
It overshot it. The
I don't know if
helicopter
did you
we
do
can
like
see
did you
backing
do
up to
serious
get this back
commentary?
into
I
full
feel like
view
I would
as this white light is pulsating
space
underneath
out.
it. And on film,
Watching
this
if I was trying to
light,
do commentary, I would get like
just
wrapped up
disappears.
in the match and I'd end up
But
just
once
like
again,
watching it.
on film, we have something we cannot explain.
If the lights are simply a natural phenomenon, why would the British military be involved? If the lights are nothing more than concentrations of superheated energy, how could they create
I didn't. Did
these
anyone else see
intricate designs?
anything that was white and
These
pulsating
things
on the
are seen to
screen?
move from one pattern to another.
Not anywhere
they appear
else.
to have total awareness of their surroundings.
They love tall
And on
tales. They do
occasions,
have
we
some
many
good
reports
folklore.
Of an interactiveness.
Remember that
between the
movie, The
people
Wicker, the
who are
old movie,
observing
The
them.
Wicker Man? The new one is
And
funny,
so,
but
therefore,
the
for
old
me,
one was great.
That puts it into a slightly different slot. We're looking at what might be
That incel, played by the guy who was the Equalizer. What was his name? Edward something
The
maybe?
British Ministry
Or
of
Edmund?
Defense
What
has
was it?
stated
I don't
that
know.
the helicopters in
Anyway, the
Colin
guy
Andrews'
from the
videotape
Equalizer
were on
was
a
an
training
incel that
exercise
went
and
to
that no
the.
one
Remember, he
involved
went to
with
that
the
creepy
exercise
ass
saw
island.
anything unusual that day. According to the Defense Ministry, the pulsing white object is simply a reflection.
I love the
helicopter's
Robin
strobe
Hood
light.
story though.
Coming up, startling new theories suggest that there is a missing link in the story of human evolution.
Don't call them aliens, because we look like them, they look like us.
When Charles Darwin published Origin of the Species in 1859, it ignited a worldwide controversy that continues to divide science and
The
religion.
Disney one's my
But the
favorite
controversy
Robin
doesn't
Hood, I
end
think. I
there,
really like the
because
Errol
within the
Flynn one too,
scientific
but I love
community
the
itself,
Disney
there
one.
is
It's one of my
bitter
all-time
division.
favorite movies,
And
period.
now, new evidence that a conspiracy of silence among mainstream anthropologists is
Wasn't there a
covering up
wrestling group called the
evidence
Ministry of
what some believe
Defense?
are our true extraterrestrial origins.
I don't know.
The Bible
Russian
answers
warhead.
the riddle of our origin in 4 simple
For
words.
Ministry of
And God
Defense.
created man. Darwin looked at monkeys and saw Michelangelo. But for modern anthropologists who try to put a name and a date to the dawn of humankind, the answer is constantly changing. Fossils discovered recently in Ethiopia put our earliest ancestors at around 4.4 million years. But some scientists believe that there is evidence that we are much
Sounds
older
like
than
Reggie White would be the
on
leader
an
of it.
archaeological dig in Hueyatlico, Mexico,
The Ministry of
Dr. Virginia
Defense.
Steen McIntyre discovered tools that predated the earliest known humans. Her find created a storm of controversy.
Don't really want to be in the center of a controversy. I never asked to be in the center of a controversy, but I'm here, and doggone it, I want to get the information out. I want to get at the truth. I guess that's what it is.
Why does Dr. Steen McIntyre feel the need to protect
What an
her
entrance.
artifacts from her more mainstream colleagues?
Oh, look at this.
Why
Mystery
are contradictory
boxes.
findings being met with contempt instead of excitement? Some researchers charge it's because these new findings would turn modern anthropology on its head.
I believe that we came from outer space.
Okay,
All
here's
the
a topic for Ruby. I think that would actually she could cover well and about AI is. Have you guys noticed all those all the people that are making like sleepy history, or it's some weird combination of like history and sleepiness, and you click on it and it's just a bunch of like AI animation or AI still pictures in a slideshow with an AI voice, but they run for like hours and hours for you to like put on, you know, while you're asleep. I keep like saying don't recommend this channel over and over and over, and there's just an endless amount of them on there. And I'm assuming it's because I do have it on, like I have YouTube on during my sleep hours, but I'm normally like I'll have like a Jim Cornette omnibus, or I'll listen to Ron Fuller or something. But there's so many of those channels. It's just like, and all of them, I swear to God, have like hundreds of thousands of fucking subscribers. It's crazy. I hate that. I do too.
Human beings, as we know them, did not originate on this planet.
The Minister of Defense. And then, didn't he get screwed over because the convicted sex offender Lawrence Taylor cheated to break like the sack record? Am I remembering that right?
To this Earth from other dimensions.
I hate AI stuff
we
on
came
YouTube
from outer space.
and anywhere.
That we are the direct
really.
descendants of the intelligence.
Like, I think it's funny sometimes if I'm like, I'll just make like some art or something, but like it's just like disposable to me pretty much. Like, I just think like, if there's something I can think of that like I just want to see it visualized, or like I might do like a song for fun, but like I'm just like, I'm so sick of the thumbnails, and I'm so sick of like clicking on articles that are obviously written by AI without disclosing it. I just think they should put all of them over, like, you know, like Bill Cosby said, I don't want to hurt them. Let's just put them off on an island somewhere by themselves, you know, so they don't hurt anybody else.
Intelligent people who landed here a long time ago.
I'm remembering
Jim
that
Phillips is the
completely
founder
wrong.
and president of the Ancient Astronaut Society. He claims that museums are hiding thousands of artifacts that do not conform to
There's
their
wrestling
narrow
ones
view
too,
of
Jeremy.
anthropology.
This is a
I'll click on one because even, honestly, even big wrestling podcasts use AI shit thumbnails, like Conan and some of Vince Russo, some of the other ones. So like sometimes I'll click on one assuming that it's like, I'll forget that they do them for wrestling, and it's like shitty AI pictures of Lou Thez over like an AI voice reading the Wikipedia.
an exact replica of
Not every AI channel is slop. I mean, you're probably right, but
and they call it a stylized insect. The Smithsonian had it on display,
digging for
and they
gold
used to
there
sell
is like
replicas in their shop.
even harder than the Boyd.
Phillips claims that after the Ancient Astronaut Society interpreted the object as a prehistoric space shuttle, the Smithsonian removed the original from public display.
To be
Phillips
fair,
and
he
his
would have
group
still
have
had the
studied
sack
more than
record.
150
Isn't it like
ancient
isn't it
sites
kind
in
of frowned
30
upon
countries.
though?
These 5,000-year-old masks
The way that it
were
went down.
unearthed in
Or
Eastern
am I
Europe. They bear a
just
striking
am I
resemblance
frowning
to
upon it?
modern-day depictions of supposed aliens known as Greys.
There's a site in Bolivia, South America, called El Fuerte. What it looks like is a catapult-type launch site for space vehicles.
For those of you who've been watching for a while, do you remember when we watched that Bill Cosby performance where he was talking about like all the different types of bigots? That is such a crazy video.
The Ancient Astronaut Society is not the only group supporting the theory of interplanetary contact. Author Zechariah Sitchin concurs in his book, The 12th Planet.
And there is one more planet in our own solar system.
Can you guys hear that?
Not
Cicero's bird
light
toy.
years away, that comes near Earth between Mars and Jupiter every 3,600 years. At which time people, intelligent people, beings like us, come and go between their planet and our planet. And
I mean,
brought us,
you have
Homo
to
sapiens,
listen. If you
about
don't, you have to be able
sooner-
to separate, in my opinion, art from the artist. If you don't, like, you're not gonna be able to watch anything. You're not gonna be able to read anything. There's gonna be nothing. You're not gonna be able to be friends with anybody, or you know what I mean. Like everybody, no one is a flawless person, and yeah. I'm not making excuses for anything anybody did, but like, you would have no art to consume.
Then we might
You'd have
have
to
appeared otherwise. Don't call them aliens.
just write notes to
because we look
yourself
like
for
them, they
entertainment.
look like
And
us.
maybe you're a shit
All
person,
we
so you
ask is
gotta,
that people have an
you
open
can't
mind.
associate with yourself.
Look at something with an open mind with today's space-age eyes.
Scientists on the fringe of modern anthropology believe that their theories are not taken seriously because mainstream scientists are afraid to admit that they've been wrong.
All the textbooks would have to be rewritten.
Now, I do think there are, and again, this is just my opinion, I do think there are some extreme cases where, like, I don't know that I would ever watch Clown House again because of, like, the shit that actually happened, like, on the set like that was filmed using the cameras on the shoot. And it also like is kind of adjacent to the content in the movie, like, you know what I mean? And then he went to jail for it. Victor Salva went to jail for it, but then like he came back and made like the Jeepers Creepers movies, but like I don't really have the same reaction to the Jeepers Creepers movies as I do Clown House. Maybe it's just because like Victor Salva's crimes were directly tied to Clown House.
All the exhibits in the museums would have to be changed. This would be very embarrassing, and people who have positions to defend like that don't like to be embarrassed.
The idea of alien evolution does sound far-fetched, and its proponents are well aware of the fact that they're looked at as eccentric outsiders. They may not have all the answers, but it's often the so-called eccentrics.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's kind of a weird movie anyway, even if you don't know the like story behind it. Like,
is helping to put some of these cases to rest.
if you don't know, when he was making the movie Clown House, Victor Salva used the actual like studio cameras to film himself, you know, engaging in just, I mean, beyond disgusting behavior. He did get caught and he did go to jail, but I mean, he came back and was like welcomed right back in.
Recently, Sightings profiled forensic sculptor Frank Bender. His uncanny gift for sculpting a human face on the bare
What's up,
bones of an
Daninsky?
unidentified skull has brought closure to many unsolved murder cases. And now, because of our original broadcast, another family can put a long-lost loved one to rest.
In 1980, police made a grisly discovery in a row house on North Lithgow Street in Philadelphia.
And also the people who, and to me, I mean, I'm not saying it's exactly cancel culture, but like if you're saying like not only do I not want to watch the Cosby Show, but like I think anyone who watches the Cosby Show is a terrible person. Like I hate that kind of mentality. Like that. And then the people who do that, who act like they're like so holier than thou, like, oh, I don't consume products that are linked to problematic brands or problematic people. Like, you're a liar. You don't. There's no way to do that. Like all the Hassan people will like boycott and protest so much stuff, but then like they're not going to give up like TikTok or Twitch, which certainly have ties to things that they strongly disagree with, but they're only going to boycott the things that like they don't really care about. If it's something that's important to them or fun to them, they're not going to boycott it.
Philadelphia. The body they found was badly decomposed and bore no resemblance to the young woman she once was. That's
I can watch Jeepers Creepers and not get the same, like, but I would get that, I think, anyway with Clown House, because it's just like, it's a weird,
for giving life, if only in clay.
I don't know, once you know, it's hard to.
His studio is the final resting place for men, women, and children who have no
I remember
names.
Sam Rockwell
Bender's
was in it.
technique combines forensic science with an emotional, some call it psychic, attachment, and it works. On a previous sighting,
They brought it out on DVD. I wonder if anybody has any of the boutique labels have released it on like Blu-ray or something.
All around the country, basically saying that they were thanking Sightings and also thanking.
I thought the first Jeepers Creepers was a good movie.
For the work that we're doing.
And now,
I watched the like.
Frank Bender resurrected
I think it's the
from a
most
skull
recent
found on
one,
North
but
Lithgow
I thought
Street
it was just
has a
garbage.
name. The wondering and waiting are over for one Philadelphia family. After
Oh my
15
God! Look at these
years,
outfits.
They know what happened for one Philadelphia family.
Oh, this is either one of these. Tony Yeoman would look right at home in.
After 15 years, they know what happened to Jackie.
All these years, I never moved because I thought maybe she would come home. Never changed my phone number. Everything's been the same, just in case she would reach out, as they say, and phone home.
Because of our broadcast, Frank Bender met police officer Virginia Hill, who works in
I
the
mean,
missing
you're
persons
only
unit of the
punishing
Philadelphia
yourself.
Police Department. Officer Hill,
In my
inherited
opinion,
the
you know.
Jackie Goff case 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that on the school bus.
For Jacqueline Go started with me in 1991.
The first time Officer Hill visited Frank Bender's studio, she was struck by the resemblance between Jackie Goff and one of the busts Bender had sculpted.
I came over to his studio and we talked about it on a show that he was doing. And we put two and two together and we both believed the same, that it was Jacqueline.
Yeah, Clown
Forensic
House
evidence
is like...
supported the matchup. Jackie's dental records indicated she had an extra tooth. So did the skull that Bender had worked from.
Like, Daninsky, have you ever seen a movie where, like, you seem like you watch a lot of, like, kind of niche shot on video and shit like that. They have these movies, they call them, like, they're like vanity projects, where some guy who runs a construction company puts some money together and he books a movie and he makes himself the hero and he makes out with all the hot, he has sex scenes with all the hot chicks and everything like that. Or he just there's a lot of nudity on screen. Like, you can tell, like, that we're watching a product that, while certainly is going to appeal to some people, like, that we're mainly just seeing an expression of the creator, what they want to see. Like, if you watch Clown House, like, especially knowing Victor Salva, it's just so disgusting. Like, it's just, like I said, I don't know that I would like watch it again.
Positive ID.
From here up.
Oh my God, powder.
Positively that it was. Frank has never met Jackie, but when he made this, it seemed like he knew her when he made it, because that looks like her through her eyes, top part of her face.
DNA results are still pending, but Frank Bender is confident he has made another match.
The payoff emotionally is satisfaction. The satisfaction of helping to put some of these cases to rest.
Officer Hill is continuing to work with Frank Bender on other missing persons cases. The future is promising.
I work with families that are in great distress.
And he still makes movies. Like, isn't that crazy?
From their children in 10, 15, even 20 years. And I get a lot of relief when the family has put it to rest, when we can positively identify.
Right, I guess I should say I'm not surprised that he's making movies. I'm surprised that he's making movies with, like, budgets and real production companies, and that there are, like, children and or teenagers on the set. Like, that's what's kind of like
someone, and then they can go on with their lives.
Yeah, exactly, Daninsky. Isn't it weird?
Bender was sculpting during our original broadcast has still not been identified. Here, again, is the face of an unnamed child found murdered in Philadelphia in 1994. If you have any information about the identity of this little boy, believed to be 5 years old at the time of his death, please contact the Homicide Division of the Philadelphia Police Department.
Coming up, you can hear people screaming. Are dangerous spirits haunting this historic site?
It was like walking into a ghost party.
Then, a child's tragic premonition. And this computer document...
Who exactly came up with this image here?
Premonition. And this computer document may prove that we are not alone.
The big wow. That's what Ruby needs to get her head screwed back on, right?
The gold rush is on.
She needs to have 3 to 5 big wows.
People flock to California in search of the mother lode. A few become millionaires, but most
is that really
barely
true?
scratch
Well,
out
then
the
that
living.
makes me feel a little bit better
And
about
many
it.
of the legendary 49ers die, laboring with hand tools inside unstable mines. It is the ghosts of those who died trying that many believe are still here today, haunting a small town in the Sierra foothills of California.
You can hear explosions. You can hear fire crackling. You can hear people screaming.
In California's gold country, the mines are idle now. The
Gold
streams and
country.
creeks played out. But in Jamestown, the spirit of the 49ers is still alive inside this hotel. You can still find a hot meal and friendly conversation at the Willow Hotel.
I agree.
And some people believe you can still hear strange echoes from the past.
I went into the bathroom, went to turn the light on, and something touched me
Well,
on the back of my
especially,
hand.
okay, perfect example, right? Victor Salva, however you feel about whatever, okay? It's just a fact. He did it. He was convicted. There was no debate over whether it happened. There was inarguable proof that it happened. He is released and working regularly yet one of the greatest actors of our time, Kevin Spacey, over allegations that were, at least some of them were dismissed, can't get any work. Why is Kevin Spacey like demonized, but Victor Salva is still getting rich in the system?
I've seen spices fly off the shelves, laughter in the kitchen when no one's there.
Ceiling fans coming on by themselves, lights in here, constantly going on and off.
Why does
That
the
guy's,
Willow
I don't know,
Hotel
that guy
seem to
cracked
be the
me up for
focus
some
of
reason.
so much haunting activity?
What was his name? Sam Hayes?
Lights in here.
Oh, it reminded me, I was thinking of like Gordon Ramsay yelling at him.
Why does the Willow Hotel seem to be the focus of so much haunting activity? Many people believe it's because of a great mine disaster that killed 23 miners here in 1862. Before the dust had settled, construction began on the Willow Hotel. It was built directly on top of the mine, where so many had lost their lives. Jamestown tried to put the past behind it. The hotel thrived, hosting presidents and gunslingers. But the past did not go away.
There's a lot of good here, but there's a lot of evil also.
Is it because the
Willow
people
Saloon has
around the
been in
Kevin
constant
Spacey
operation
case keep
since
getting killed?
1862, But for the past 10 years, no one has slept here.
Like,
A
how
series of
is Kevin
mysterious fires
Spacey
have
not
engulfed
working?
the
That's
sleeping
crazy to
quarters
me.
3 separate times, and always on the same date in years ending in 5. July 21st, 1955, July 21st, 1975. When the hotel burned on July 21st, 1985, no one wanted to rebuild.
We smelled smoke all day. And then later that evening, we spotted flames in the wainscoting over.
I actually have the perfect script for Kevin Spacey's return, but he's only in it at the very end, and in kind of like a ghost form.
In the dining room, when the fire department came, they chopped the wall up and went through it and everything. Inside the wall, there was no electrical. There was nothing there to make that fire start. It just had started like from nothing.
Then after we got the fire put out, then Kevin, the owner, asked us to stick around just in case it reignited. And at that time, we started hearing 2 scratches from underneath the bar floor by the waitress station. I took a fast exit out the door, and then shortly after that, out of this wall that I'm leaning against came like 2 massive exhales.
Word spread about the strange fires at the Willow. A local news crew
Wow,
came in to
damn,
conduct an
Daninsky.
overnight surveillance.
We set the camera back on the
Kevin
tripod, we
Spacey,
left
if you
it
ever
just
see
sitting
this,
there, nobody
look me
touched
up,
it.
brother.
And the
Give me a
camera
couple
went to
$100 grand.
black and white.
We'll get this
And,
movie off the ground.
We had electrical was blinking in and out, and the walls of the booth in the front there started
Man,
rolling.
these-
The wall,
I'm sorry, I have
we
to
set
see
the
this. I want to watch this whole segment again.
Word spread
I was
about the
thinking
strange
about
fires
something
at
else.
the Willow. A local news crew came in to conduct an overnight surveillance.
We set the
Can you
camera back
imagine
on the
George
tripod,
doing
we
this?
left it just
Vince
sitting there,
Neil,
nobody
hell
touched it.
yeah.
And the camera went to black and white, and we had electrical was blinking in and out, and the walls of the booth.
This looks like one of the
in
Leonard
front
Lake
there
tapes.
started rolling, as if like an earthquake, was making the walls roll out. We did play it back.
Yeah, and we had lines going across it and then it started rolling. And then ever since then, I haven't been able to really view it.
It kept
Our
shutting the
VCR.
VCR off, ejecting the tape.
Oh, no, that would piss
and
me
it was
right
brand new
off.
tape.
That same television crew took these photographs and claimed they saw transparent entities hiding in the shadows.
Hey, Daninsky, you know one of my favorite parts of the Ben Thorpe interview? I've been meaning to talk to you about this. Was whenever their power went out, remember, halfway through the interview? And when they came back, they were like, wow, you'll never believe this. Our power went out. And I was like, oh, it happens to me all the time. And I bet Ben thought I was fucking with him or something, but like literally it has happened to me like a million times.
I just looked across the room and I just saw somebody standing at the
Cicero,
booth.
why
And
do
as
you
soon as
keep-
I got up, he just disappeared. He was gone.
Sorry, Cicero's
That
being
was the
very
reason
needy.
why I took a picture of the booth to see what would happen. And then it appears that there are 2 faces in the booth, one on each side. And one of the faces looks like he has like a miner's hat.
Are these entities somehow responsible for the fires? Do they have a connection to the Great Jamestown Fire of 1896 that destroyed almost everything but the Willow?
In the late 1800s, when the town was burning and they dynamited some of the other buildings to save this one, They said while they were dynamiting, a man was killed, and they said one of the kinfolk from the man that was killed.
I've been trying to get up like a little
fire.
highlight of each of
Or
the
is the
streams that
haunting
I'm able to
here related
catch.
to the turbulent times the Willow experienced during Prohibition.
In 1925, Gus Ratto, who was leasing the bar at the time, went upstairs to his wife's room and called to her, and when she opened the door, he fired one shot into her head and turned around and shot another into his own head.
Since 1972, the place has belonged to the Mooney family. When Kevin Mooney took over 4 years ago, he was a confirmed skeptic until he had his own sighting.
I'm getting ready to walk through the back door. When I look up at the window,
I don't know if you were in here or not, but I messaged Grace and asked her if she could search by title, and then I had her look for the title of the stream where Hugh stood her up down in Florida. But I haven't heard back from her yet, but hopefully she'll hook us up.
and there's eyes like red like this, two red eyes looking through the window, and my heart started going. Oh God! I get outside, my heart's boom, boom, boom. I look around, there's nothing there.
The Thorpes just live completely outside of like normal
Nick Nocerino and Chuck
human
Pelton
society.
to conduct a thorough investigation.
You got something here that's very hot. Very hot. This is where the apparition
Huge,
should be.
huge divorce
gonna be an
trial next
apparition,
Monday.
it should
He's
be
got
in
it,
this
buddy.
area.
When you walk through this building, you
Well, listen,
still feel
I watched Ruby SpaceX show yesterday, and she told me that AI has surpassed 95% of all lawyers. So if they're up against a human being, I think they've got this one in the bag.
heat, you feel fire, you smell smoke.
Pelton and Nocerino
Testify
believe that
against
there are
Ben.
3 layers of hauntings here, caused by what they have termed
What's up, Realm Chat?
residual thought forms.
Well, thought form is probably an event that took place.
Oh, look at this guy's hair.
that these
ATF
people
Media.
are reliving.
You got to see this guy's hair.
And if you tie that into a quick death, had it been from a fire explosion, a mine cave-in, it's even possible people don't know that they're
God,
dead.
this guy.
No one
He
can
looks like an
predict
old.
if the
He looks like he
haunting
tag
forms of
team with
the
Dick the
past will
Bruiser.
appear again. But you can bet everyone in Jamestown will be keeping an eye on the Willow every July 21st.
I think somebody Duranda would interview
1885.
about polka music.
The pattern of fires occurring on the same date nearly every decade since 1955 has all the
Eating some
earmarks of a
food,
classic
nice.
arson pattern. That's what the Tuolumne County Fire Department originally thought. But their extensive investigation
I tried some. Supposedly like hot jalapeno chips, and the whole time I was thinking, I was trying to predict what South to West comment would be on there about the overdone use of like hot adjectives on potato chips.
has ruled out arson as a possible
Great, you hope
cause.
Grace doesn't screw it up.
When Sightings continues, a child's premonition turns
Every time I
tragedy
start to
into
dismiss South to
Katie was
West as
given a
being
glimpse
Ben, he goes and
from
says
the other
something
side.
like that that really makes me wonder. Grace, our trad
Most
girl
psychical researchers
icon.
believe that we are born with extraordinary powers of ESP, but
You
as
saw
we
her up against
grow
that
older,
very
our
small
psychic ability is
policeman.
weakened
She
by a
stood her
world
ground.
that
She
teaches us
lied
to
to him.
rely on empirical thinking.
She went to
If
bat
this
for
is true,
Ben.
it might help explain why young Katie Thronson had a premonition of death that tragically came true.
This is the last picture Katie Thronson ever drew.
Wow, how depressing!
It was
Right
her
out of the
vision
gate.
of another life beyond this one. It seemed to spring from an active imagination, but less than a week after Katie showed the drawing to her mother, the little girl, who seemed heaven sent, was gone.
Wow,
Katie was
what a
a
story.
beautiful little girl who was really happy and was always kissing people.
Julie Thronson.
Just really loving.
Hey, pal, it's
She'd
me.
always have her arms around other children.
Charles Thronson.
She seemed to be the one that always brought
J-Rock.
children together.
Over the course of almost 7 years, she had hundreds of drawings.
George Taste.
She expressed herself by drawing hearts all the time.
Man, this
because she
energy
was
drink is
filled with
nuts,
love.
man. This can't be good
Julie
for you.
Thronson vividly recalls
Hold on, let's look
one
at some
day
of the
in
things.
October
Let's look at
19
some of the stuff on here, okay? It says unmatched energy, amplified focus, enhanced concentration, increased productivity, elevated, I like that word, elevated mental clarity. I do need that. No sugar or artificial colors. It's got 1,000 milligrams of L-tyrosine, 400 milligrams of alpha GPC 50%. I don't know what that means. 200 milligrams of uridine monophosphate, 200 milligrams of caffeine, 100 milligrams of L-theanine, 15 milligrams of saffron extract, 200 milligrams of... What the fuck? Huperzine A. And then you get 100% of your essential vitamins in one can of Gorilla Mind.
1991, when Katie came to her out of the blue with an unsettling question.
She
Hey,
came
Ruby.
into the room where I was sitting, holding a...
Ruby, you need to do a show about these AI sleep channels where people like record, it's just AI pictures and then an AI voice like reading a Wikipedia article, but it's like hours and hours of it. They're springing up like fungus everywhere.
tablet that she had been drawing on, and in a real...
And don't believe Daninsky if he tells you that I said earlier that you just needed some big wows to get your mind back right again.
innocent way came up to me and asked me, Mommy,
what was Stevie saying?
and I said, no, honey, of course not. You're not gonna die. And she said, never. And I said,
I don't know.
Katie, no.
I
you're
can't
not
get
gonna
rid of
die."
it. There's so much of it,
Then
F-Wood. I
she
keep
just
blocking and
danced
blocking. Do not
happy
recommend.
that
Do
she
not
wasn't gonna
recommend.
die.
But 2 days later, Katie developed what appeared to be a severe flu. The next day, her condition worsened, and she was rushed to the hospital. Doctors suspected that Katie had a ruptured appendix.
In the hours after that time, and prior to her going to surgery, her prognosis...
Ruby, you're the one. You're the one. Ruby.
had become extremely grave.
Julie never left her daughter's side. Just before 3 o'clock, while Katie was...
You do know, Ruby, that there are AI AI channels that do like lolcow and, niche, weirdo content coverage that's just like kind of like the sleep things. It's just like, it's just all AI edited and then an AI voiceover. We could see a Ruby Spacek AI detractor at some point.
was awaiting surgery, there was a change in her breathing. She lapsed into unconsciousness, and Julie could not wake her.
I said, Katie.
I want to come over to Ruby's place and give her... I said I wanted to... Well, I didn't say I wanted to give her. I said she could probably use 3 to 5. That'd be my prescription.
She wasn't responding to me at all. And I looked
But
at
not
the
from
clock,
me, someone
and
who is special
it
and
was
Ruby has,
right at 3 o'clock.
maybe young Ben.
I looked at the clock, I looked at her, and suddenly she just sat up in the hospital bed, raised her arms out towards the window, opened her eyes. It was like she wanted me to pick her up, yet she wasn't in my direction. There was this stillness in the room that is indescribable. It was just completely still. It was like an infinite moment. And in my spirit, I just knew that my little girl had been taken. And I ran out into the hall, and I just yelled, my little girl just died. I just saw her die.
I mean,
A
what?
medical
Why
team
is this on
rushed in to try to
Sightings?
revive Katie. Julie waited in the hallway.
This is so depressing.
Just outside the room where her daughter was dying.
Thank God Ruby's here.
And then I noticed a pregnant woman walking towards me, and I could tell by the look in her eyes that she was going to say something to me. And she came right up to me. She touched me on the shoulder, and she said, The Lord has spoken to me. You're to be like a lioness. Your little girl is okay. And I just felt this shiver go through my body.
They have them
and I
like
thought,
this every once in a while.
If the
Remember that? Remember the one where they had the kid who was like, it wasn't really sad. It was just kind of an odd story where he was like bonded to the dolphins.
Lord
He was like a
has
kid with
spoken
Down
to her,
syndrome,
then
but he was
Katie
like
is okay.
bonded to the dolphins.
Whether
Blubber
she's
lips.
gonna live or whether she's gone to God, Katie's gonna be okay.
The woman disappeared as if into thin air, and Julie never saw her again. Katie was being kept alive with machines. After 3 days, doctors pronounced her legally brain dead. The Thronsons
Isn't
made the
Becky
agonizing
Boop doing that
decision to
now,
remove
saying she
life
can speak
support.
to your dead relatives
The
for
autopsy indicated
donos?
that there was indeed appendicitis.
Boring.
And that there had been extension of this infection locally. To
Come
other
on, where's the
organs,
aliens?
that were nearby.
Officially, Katie died October 10th, but both Julie and her doctor believed Katie was gone much sooner.
When I told the doctor that at that time she had raised her arms out towards the window, he said, I believe that that was the time that Katie left her body. And that
I am a
although
big
they
advocate for public
artificially
transportation.
kept her alive, she had died at 3 o'clock.
It was 6-year-old Katie who was the first to be laid to rest in the family plot. It was an unspeakable tragedy from which the Thronsons never thought they would recover. But a few months later, there was a ray of hope stuffed inside a cardboard box. Julie found the tablet that Katie had been drawing on just days before her death.
$500 goal?
She had drawn
$500? Like what?
a picture of these angels surrounding a light. And
I know it's a much harder way to do it, but if you look at people who just organically grow their channel and maybe they have like a fraction of the followers of like somebody like Becky Boop, but you grow your support by having like an authentic channel. You can't constantly be like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like they think just the more eyes you get equals the more money, but that's not really accurate. I think most channels are like that have a big support base typically have like just a handful of like, you know, really reliable supporters, and you get those by like growing your channel naturally, I think.
the cloud and the moon had sad
Would I let
faces,
Becky
and
Boop
all
lay hands on
angels
me?
had
Hell
sad
no.
faces, and some of them even had tears
What,
coming
like a
down
fight?
their face. The picture said everything.
No, I don't like Becky
When
Boop.
I saw it, I knew without a doubt that Katie had a premonition.
Julie drew strength
Oh my
from that
God.
cherished drawing. Then, 5 months after Katie's death, a picture appeared in Life magazine that seemed to confirm Julie's belief that her daughter's drawing was a premonition. This 19th century...
I don't know if you guys, I'm sure some of you at least keep up with DSP. He's gone like completely mask off with the like e-begging. It's so glorious. He's just like straight up telling people like if you don't donate, like that you're like, he's comparing himself to like a big movie studio. And he's like, you know, if you don't go support the Jurassic Park movie and you don't give them your money, then there's not going to be a Jurassic Park 2. Like, he's not putting up $200 or $300 million. He's playing games off a fucking Game Pass.
Engraving was part of an article about life after death. The depiction of a welcoming vortex of light was strikingly similar to Katie's own vision. Both pictures have a circular pattern that resembles the tunnel of light commonly reported
Gustave
in near-death
Doré?
experiences.
Is that a Savvy Guy
Coincidence?
brand?
Or did Katie receive a divine message?
She knew she was going to die. She drew that picture. She asked me, Mommy, am I
That's
gonna
where we're at,
die?"
guys.
Whether or not she
We're not in the Matrix or AI. We're in the ninth circle of hell.
meaning of it, I believe her spirit did.
Author Dr. Gerald Jampolsky is a child psychiatrist who counsels bereaved families. After Julie Thronson saw the Life magazine article, she wrote to Dr. Jampolsky and asked him to look at Katie's drawing.
I pointed out that at 3 o'clock,
He's like, the drawing was so good, I had to flinch at first. I thought it was falling down a hole.
I was like amazed for a minute, and he continued it, but I'm thinking, he doesn't know that Katie died at 3 o'clock. There's no way he could know that.
Julie also tried to find the pregnant woman who had comforted her. The hospital gave her the names and phone numbers of all the women in the maternity ward that day, but none of them remembered speaking to Julie.
She was obviously an angel. There was some kind of a message there.
This
of
pregnant
life
woman was an
and
angel.
Death and birth.
The
Is that why they
cycle of
say,
death
oh, look at
and
this guy.
birth continues. There is a new life in the Thronson family. Little Cody was born on October 7th, 1992.
We are in the
1 year to
ninth
day
circle of boy.
after Katie died. It was an uncanny coincidence.
I was once told a definition of coincidence that I've always found very
The
helpful.
disloyal.
A
We're down with
coincidence is a
all of
miracle in
the
which God wishes to
Benedict
remain
Arnolds
anonymous.
of history.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
When the Thronsons take Katie's
Because the
brothers
kind of
and
content
sisters
we
to
like
her
to
grave,
watch is an
the family
absolute
remembers
betrayal of
and talks
humanity.
about what they believe is God's plan.
It was a gift from beyond, maybe a gift from God.
The impact that drawing has had on our life is just beyond
You think they're
words.
scamming?
We have this to share with people. We have the hope to share with people that
Oh, good, they
there is a
replaced the one that
beautiful side
died.
to
Wait a
all of
second,
this.
Ruby. Listen. That's some real harsh language you're using there. You can never replace Katie Thronson, Ruby. I mean, that's really disrespectful. It's like you just, desecrated a child's grave.
It helped us in the healing because it gave us both peace. I felt honored that Katie was given a glimpse from the other side.
there's just the fact that there's life after death. And even though we can't see it, it exists.
Just a few weeks ago, the Thronsons were in a serious car accident. Fortunately, everyone's all
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
recovering at home. But something strange happened during that crash. 3-year-old Christopher told his mother and father that right after the moment of impact, he saw Katie.
Up next,
It was 5 to 6
Here you
times
go,
stronger
Ruby.
than any signal in the past.
after receiving what could be an extraterrestrial
Maybe they
message,
named the
this
new one
facility
Katie
could be
too.
shut down.
They'd have to be
The
pretty
radio
sick.
telescope at Ohio State University in Columbus is nicknamed the Big Ear. Its job is to listen for anomalous sounds in the cosmos that
The Big
might
Ear?
be evidence of intergalactic communication. If someone out there is trying to get our attention, the Big Ear is probably the telescope that will bring the message to us.
Oh my
Man has
God.
always wondered, are we alone in the universe? Are there
Oh,
other
no.
intelligent beings somewhere that we might perhaps converse with at some point, or at least learn of the existence of?
What's
The
up, Stephen
universe
David?
has no beginning, no middle, and no end. In such a limitless ocean of planets, moons, and stars, are we really the only life forms searching outer space? Is another civilization trying to make contact?
Oh man, I
Astronomers
can't wait to hear
operating
about the
this
Big Ear.
telescope believe contact has been made.
It was exactly the kind of signal that we are looking for. It's a narrowband signal, clearly
Oh,
of
Bob
intelligent
Dixon.
origin, clearly not interference, not any of those things.
In the late 1950s, Ohio State University began construction on what would become the world's largest radio
Big
telescope.
ER.
It
What's
was
up,
designed
Ananje?
to pick up and record the noises
I'm gonna
of
go to the
space.
Big E before I
And for over
die.
15 years, it
I'm gonna
cataloged
try.
a symphony of static pops and hisses that were emanating naturally from satellites, stars, and explainable sources. Then, in the mid-1970s,
The
the
Big
radio
Ear.
telescope known as the Big Ear received NASA sponsorship and began listening for evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. In 1977, they got their first hit.
Daninsky, you should start telling people, describing what this structure is, and then telling them to be like, they call it the Big Ear. And then when they acknowledge it and they're like, oh, really? You'd be like, yeah, but do you know why they call it that?
I had the task to look at the computer
Jerry, hey,
printouts
man.
to see if there was anything interesting.
Big Ear
Anything
volunteer.
for or above.
In 1977, they got their first hit.
I had the task
This
to
energy
look
drink
at the
is
computer
crazy.
printouts to see if there was anything interesting. Anything 4 or above was definitely unusual. Well, this was the equivalent of 30, and so it was so strong
5 to 6 times stronger than I had seen any signal in the past. That I
They
was
recently
astonished
discovered
and
a new
immediately
theory
wrote
about
the
this
word
wow signal.
exclamation point in the margin of the computer printout.
I heard that if you have 3 to
Very
5
strange
big
thing
wows,
is to
it'll
have these two
soothe your
beams in the
concerns
sky. We saw
over
it only one of those
AI.
beams. So that means that it turned off or on.
This guy's
one
the
or
Arn
other
Anderson of the
as we were
UFO
watching
community.
it, which is even further indication of intelligent origin. The tantalizing thing is we went back
Skate
and
the
looked
big
hundreds
ear.
of times later and it was never there again.
Look at that computer.
So we will never know exactly what that
Oh
was.
my God.
It could have been from some other civilization.
The spontaneous signal became known as the Big
Wow.
Wow. It immediately sparked serious debate among astronomers. No one could explain
Hey
the
Ruby, do you
origin of the
remember,
signal,
if you're still
but
in here, do
many
you remember
scientists would
Casey
not
Tron?
accept it as proof of intergalactic communication. Others insisted the Big Wow was Earth's first
Yeah, I'm
contact
smoking
with an extraterrestrial
Blackberry Moon
intelligence.
Rocks.
The debate continues to this day.
I'm mixing an incredibly heavy, sedative indica with like this
Dr.
crazy
Lewis Friedman does not
energy,
believe
like
that the
high
Big Wow is
energy
definitive
drink.
proof of interstellar communication. But he does believe it is an important piece of a larger puzzle that the Big Ear will someday solve.
Nonetheless, it has over the time made very useful
She's
observations
part of
in
the Ethan Klein
the whole search
lawsuit.
for extraterrestrial intelligence.
But despite the Big
She
Ear's
used to have a
scientific
really interesting
contributions,
character,
the
but then
radio
I think once she got
telescope's future is on
money,
shaky ground.
Congress
like
did
she kind of
cut out
gave up on it.
funding, last year, and that has made the SETI program really disappear from all government activities. Because the subject deals with extraterrestrial life, it's a subject that is obviously capable of ridicule. And Congress didn't continue the funding because they were susceptible to those kinds of jokes.
Unfortunately, the land the Big Ear sits on is becoming more
Hey, Cody
valuable
Turbo.
than the radio telescope itself. Without federal funding, it's up to private organizations
You ever had
like
one of these,
the
Ruby?
Planetary Society to stave off destruction
Gorilla
of the
Mind.
project.
The idea that someone out there may be transmitting and we're not listening is not one that we in the Planetary Society are comfortable with.
Currently, everyone who works on the project works for free. The Big Ear is supported by volunteers who don't want to see the project die.
We have people from all walks of life. I mean, we have an attorney, we have physicists, astronomers, a chemist.
Anyone who
school
goes against the
teachers,
funding of the Big Ear
group
gets
box
a
repairmen,
spine buster from this
people
guy.
who just do anything that you can imagine, volunteer here.
The Planetary Society encourages anyone with an interest in the heavens to join them. Volunteers who aren't physicists or astronomers.
It's pretty well. I
learn
can't even
from those
imagine
who
what it
are.
would be like if I wasn't like.
If it weren't for someone like me coming
Oh
up
my
and
God, a big
moving,
ear shirt.
repointing the telescope a couple times a week.
If
then
I wasn't
no
like
such
smoking a heavy
survey,
indica, I feel
would
like
be
that's
done.
really tampering
Their
it down
equipment is
quite a
sadly
bit.
outdated, but the Big Ear volunteers are undaunted. Who knows when one of them will be able to write
What's up, Luna?
"Wow" on a computer printout.
There's no telling what extraterrestrial civilization's power is, so even the weakest equipment might be able to pick something up.
Eventually they will transmit.
Hey, Angelo
If not my lifetime,
Campanella.
then the next one.
It seems unlikely that only here, in this very typical place, that life would have formed. In fact, if we go on
I live
searching
for the
a long
Italian
period of time
names
and
on
never
Sightings.
find anything, that will be an even stranger situation, that we will have to then understand why did life form only here and nowhere else.
We want the Earth to be listening.
This guy's
We
the
have a lot
Art
to learn in this
Garfunkel
area. Who knows where we'll
of
strike a
Sightings.
little gold in those hills.
The land underneath the Big Ear is leased to Ohio State by a land development corporation. The university's 10-year lease expires next year, and there are rumors that when it does, one of the world's tallest radio telescopes
Yes, much like Ruby SpaceX bedroom, there are minimum size requirements at the Big Ear.
will be dismantled to make way for a golf course.
Sorry, Ruby, I gotta hardball
Sightings
you a
has
little
expanded
bit, or
its America
Daninsky will
Online
say
area.
I'm taking it
Keyword
easy on you.
Sightings when you log on for access to Sightings stories, images, and events. To subscribe to America Online, call
Imagine listening to Lee
1-800-591-3344,
Cypress via the Big
and you
Ear.
can still reach Sightings 24 hours a day at 1-900-933-7444.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind.
Remember
For
that,
Sightings,
south to
I'm
west.
Tim White.
Next on Sci-Fi, The Sentinel.
The Sentinel.
On this this edition.
All right, this is the next episode, season 3, episode 14. UFO disinformation, Russian psychics, and listen to this. This sounds like a great sci-fi original. Quake sense.
Sightings. We're probably dealing with the most important issue in the history of the human race.
The big
If it's so
nose.
important, why is the government
Wasn't that?
hiding its
Didn't they have
UFO
that on
secrets?
Futurama? The big
UFOs
nose.
are downright scary when you get right down to it. It would have severe ramifications.
Then, healing miracles from inside Russia.
She saved my life.
Also, the mystery circles continue to form, and there are bizarre side effects.
It's known as getting zapped.
Daninsky says that I was too soft on Ben.
Plus, they call
It was too much of a softball interview.
for a very good reason.
The whole area.
He basically wants me just to go completely batshit on
Imagery
OPC
saves
Dawn, I
lives.
think.
Then, do animals have a quake sense?
I didn't know
Quake
what it was that
sense.
she was trying to tell me. And then when the earthquake hit, I knew what was wrong.
You want to, hey Ember, hey Ruby, you want to know something that Ember said the other day? She said that Grace needs to add vaginal hygiene wipes to her Amazon wish list. I thought that was pretty rude. Quite rude. Wow, Luna Star is really going for it. Talking to Ruby Space Act like that. Fantastic. No, I would like to watch Alien Earth though.
I'm Tim White.
Are you watching
Most
it?
people
Is it if you
understand
watching it,
and
is it any
accept
good?
The government's need to keep certain projects top secret for reasons of national
Man, this
security.
energy drink is
But
killing
Sightings
me.
has spoken with former government
I feel
personnel
like
who
I'm,
charge that not only does the government keep certain projects secret, it also
feel like I
creates
have,
bogus projects to divert the prying eyes of the American public.
I feel like
It's
I have
called
like
disinformation. What does the United
antifreeze
States government
through
and
my
the
whole
military
body.
know about UFOs? And when
Do I have an
know?
offensive mode? Yeah, I could if I
50
wanted to,
years,
probably.
Researchers and private citizens have been asking for answers.
I'm pretty
to the
heavily
whole
drunk.
veil.
I should go easy
And
on
we make
OPC Don. I
contact
owe
with
my
an
entire
extraterrestrial
YouTube career to him. This wise
Are
advice
being kept from
bullshit.
the truth through a systematic plan of disinformation.
Certainly there is a cover-up.
Alien Earth is good.
That's not the important question. That's a given. The ability to maintain a cover-up is directly proportional to the magnitude of the secret that's being kept. If the secret is only that there are UFOs, that there are extraterrestrials coming here visiting the planet, then I submit to you that's not much of a secret. It has to be something so potentially shattering.
Now wait a minute, Luna. Can we hold on? Let me consult my journal here. I'm a little drugged up. So last I knew, Luna, when it came to the subject of whether or not you and your king were going to go to karaoke, is your neighbors. Now I've used abbreviation that I can't remember now. Your neighbor's boyfriend's dad is in prison. And Josh, who is possessive and smelly, is trying, he's a wannabe stepdad to the guy to the kid whose dad is in prison. And that's running into problems because the king is being basically throne blocked from going to karaoke because of Josh, correct? And he doesn't have his normal backup because his band, Graham Hetrick, he's not getting the band back together. So he's basically just the two of you against the world at this point. But what's changed that's opened up this potential pathway into the karaoke?
Basic sociological structure of the planet. That
Summer's
anybody
Eve
privy to it
wipes.
takes one look at it and says, "Oh my
What
God,
makes you
we've gotta
think that
keep the lid
Grace
on
has a
this.
dirty
How are we gonna
pussy?
tell the public?"
Charges of government conspiracy are nothing new. But what is new
Haven't you
are revelations that not all
Haven't you ever
secret
heard of
government
like just,
projects
you
have
know,
been for the greater public
acting?
good. As recently as the early 1970s,
Maybe they're just
LSD
acting
was
like
given
they
to
don't
unwitting human
shower.
subjects. In the 1940s, people received plutonium injections without their knowledge or consent. And during the Cold War,
Human guinea pigs were used to determine the effect of nuclear bombs dropped within
Okay, there.
close
Okay.
range.
Okay, let me update my information. So what we're saying is the actions of Josh, who smells bad, is that you're thinking of you've abandoned the lounge, at least temporarily, in favor of the Corvette, which I think is a good decision. I think we've talked about that in the past. All right, I've updated the lore journal.
These experiments and hundreds of other secret military projects
Anti-vaginal
prove that the
health.
government is capable of large-scale deception.
I'm just saying, I've
Clandestine
never.
operations in the
Okay,
name of
well,
national
listen.
Security came to public attention.
Ruby's the only one that's been close enough, I think, out of the people that are here. Well, what was there a problem with the Thorpes odor wise? Don't give a kayfabe answer here. Let's keep it real.
For the first time in the 1950s with the U-2 spy plane.
Just before it became operational in 1954, a plan was developed in which
Oh, man.
they said, how do you hide
Anthony
an airplane
Bourdain.
with a 60-foot wingspan? You don't.
Leo Janis worked in the Johnson White House before becoming a correspondent for Time magazine. In Skunk Works, Janis investigates.
Are you
the
just saying that,
top-secret
Daninsky, because
test
most
center
of the
where
people
U-2
that I
was
watch don't
So
shower?
they made up a story.
Oh my gosh.
And the story was that this airplane...
So VP came back after the recent court thing, and she did a stream, and it got taken down for some reason. And then by the time I asked her what happened to the stream, I think she'd have forgotten that it got taken down. She thought I was talking about something completely different. But she came back again and did a wild stream out on the balcony where she was like dyeing her hair, and like her hands and her arms were all pink from the dye. She looked real crazy.
Plane was being developed to study high altitude weather and so on and so forth, and put out an official news release lying to the American people.
But keeping the raps.
Okay, but hear me out on this, Luna. If you go to the Corvette, right, and you have a good time, wouldn't it make sense just to put down some roots and just move on from the lounge? Like, you don't want to always be thinking in the back of your head, oh, what if Josh comes in here? You know what I mean? Why not just let the lounge go if the Corvette proves to be, a reliable new spot for the king?
On a new generation of spy plane is a far cry from
What do I smell
maintaining
like?
a massive UFO conspiracy. Skeptics charge that
Probably
if our
weed.
government does have evidence of alien craft or life forms, someone, somewhere would leak it. That a secret this big.
So basically what you're saying is that that Thorpes did not smell bad, but you're also trying to kind of backhand that compliment a little bit by saying that you're used to smelly people. I do agree. I mean, especially Grace, I would think would want to be a little more. All I know is she's just got to brush her teeth. Like if you're going to have a sweaty pussy or whatever, okay, but like you got to brush the teeth.
Just could not be kept.
Cuz that'll really come back
Nonsense.
like to haunt you
Nonsense.
if you don't take
You
care of
can
your
do it.
teeth.
I'm convinced of that.
George Knapp is another investigative reporter who believes that the U.S. government consistently hides the truth from the public. He showed Sightings documents that outline.
I mean, I'm
government
around people
procedures
pretty
for launching
often,
a
and no one's ever
disinformation
like
campaign
said though that like I
called
smell like
cover
weed, but I don't
stories.
smoke like
Our government
blunts
does it
or
all the time. There are
like
even
joint
printed
after joint.
guidelines for how cover
One hits
stories,
don't really do
disinformation
much.
are supposed to work. In
Just
April
got done
of
eating breakfast, a
1994,
chocolate
there was
chip
even a
muffin.
review of the cover story policy by something called the Joint Security Commission, something hidden in the bowels of the Pentagon, and they said it in a very delicate way. We're doing this too much. We're doing it too much for the wrong reasons. It's too expensive. It's not getting the job done. But it recommended rewriting the guidelines
It just
for
fucking
cover
cracks
stories.
me up,
In
the
other
whole
words, let's
scenario.
revise the way we lie to the American public and the
Yeah,
rest of the
George
world.
Knapp is that's a real big
Robert
get.
O. Dean is a retired Army Sergeant Major who served on the front lines in Korea and Vietnam and was later assigned to NATO's Supreme Headquarters Command. He claims to have had NATO's highest security clearance, which is called, strangely, a cosmic top secret clearance. It was during his tenure
September
at NATO that
10th,
Dean
that's
claims
true.
he
You know what
led a
tomorrow is,
12-inch thick
Vinny?
intelligence.
It's one of the most important, historic moments to note something that changed the entire fabric of our country, maybe even the world, and that is the end of Prime Time with George Dorunda, It's going to be a very somber day.
To report on UFO.
Jedi Joy, thank you for your service.
I have to be honest with you and tell you that that information literally changed my life.
I know, Luna.
Because I
You
knew
just
for the
told
first
me that.
time
This looks like the guy that played
the
Leatherface.
subject was not fantasy. It wasn't myth. It wasn't legend. It was real. It was true.
But why is Dean breaking his silence
Oh
now?
my gosh, look at his... Look, dude, he's got a Knights of Templar lampshade. Wow.
30 years after reading that life-changing report.
One of the reasons I'm violating my national security oath is that I believe that the
Dude's got the Billy Jack Haynes shoot interview hair.
American people are losing their constitution because of the secrecy and the cover-up.
My drink of choice for 9/11?
We've
Oh
got
gosh,
people
I should
in
probably...
positions of power
I should probably get
that are
something
making
special.
national policy that were never elected for this. They're not accountable. They're not responsible to either the
What about
executive
what
or the
about like a
legislative
red, white, and
branch.
blue
And that's got to
patriotic
stop.
premium
Dean
malt
and others
beverage?
charge that secret government enterprises
I get some
called
Smirnoff
black
Ice or
projects
maybe
are
a
far more
Four
widespread
Loko.
and far more damaging than most people believe. And the best minds
Can
in
never
the
be
country
too
are in charge of
clean.
keeping them secret.
Well,
The people who engage in disinformation are a lot better at it than we are at figuring it out.
you don't
This
think there's any
document
value
from
to like
CIA's
the
Office of Scientific
the
Intelligence
pheromones
reveals
of a
that the
more
agency was
bohemian
proposing
lifestyle?
a UFO disinformation plan as
That's
early
how
as
that's how I
1952.
describe
The
vegan
document also
patriot,
details an
bohemian
investigation of
lifestyle.
NICAP, a private UFO watchdog group.
They spied on it, they infiltrated it, they became
Jedi
officers
Joy
in it,
serviced
and
Mark
soon
Fusion.
thereafter,
Well, she is
the
my
regular
spiritual
members who kept
advisor.
this thing going for a number of years lost interest.
Despite hundreds of pages of documentary evidence, the only officially recognized government investigation of UFOs is
You hate.
Project
I'm
Blue
not
Book.
talking about.
Now, I look upon Blue
smell.
Book itself as a little bit of disinformation to tell the people.
I just personally like. I shower regularly, but like I don't like. I wouldn't want to like shower, especially wouldn't want to wash my hair every day.
Well, yes, we're doing something, when in reality, Blue Book, as we understood it, was simply a public relations front. And those of us who really dug into it know that Blue Book was a cover. It was a PR cover, that they didn't really address the reality of the issues. It was a PR attempt to show the public, well, we're doing some research. Yeah, we're really paying attention to it. But most of the real solid material never went to Blue Book. And Air Force pilots knew this.
And according to Dean, this information continues to this day.
To give you an example of...
One of my favorite things about Jedi Joy is that whenever Rich, you know how she ignores chat all the time, but Richard will always tell her when I say something, and she always cuts like a very similar promo. And I imagine for the people watching it, it's got. I just wonder, like, because she does like the same kind of like pitch for me every time, and I always think that's kind of funny for like the people watching the show that see it like every, on a regular basis.
Of the most recent example.
But I guess
of
you have to kind of
absurd
like a loop to
disinformation
watch Joy anyway.
Was this incident involving the Roswell incident. First, the Air Force says it was a weather balloon.
How you smell on
And
a farm?
50
Imagine
years
if you
later,
worked
they
on a
said,
monkey
"Gee,
ranch.
Guys, we're sorry. It really wasn't a weather balloon. It was much more than that, but it was a
Joy
balloon."
yapped during the entire
Project
servicing.
Mogul. Well, I'm tempted to use terms that you'll have to bleep out.
Hey, it's me
This
is here.
Garbage.
Hey, it's me,
That's
big news.
disinformation.
So, Luna and her king, as you know, Josh is, causing some problems over at the lounge. So they're gonna avoid for right now karaoke at the lounge, and we're gonna move it over to the Corvette. So we will not miss out on any karaoke, but we're gonna try to set a new vibe at a new place,
That's lying through your teeth to the American people. And if that isn't disinformation,
On
I don't know
John
what is.
Titor? I don't think so.
What Dean
Is that a
is
UFO
referring
guy?
to is this 23-page statement about the Roswell incident released by the Air Force in late 1994. In it, the Air Force attempted to link veteran researcher Stanton Friedman to ludicrous stories in the tabloid.
It said in
Besties and
1978,
business.
an
We're not
article appeared
business
in the tabloid
associates.
newspaper, the National Enquirer. The fact of the
No
matter
one's gonna be a
is,
business associate with me.
there wasn't an article in the Enquirer, so it's not only wrong information, it has a purpose to create a false picture of what was going on. After all, it's just tabloid nonsense.
Bob Dean believes that there have also been attempts to discredit his UFO investigations.
We're not merely dealing with probably the most important issue of our time. We're probably dealing
I'll
with
look
the
it
most
up.
important
This hair
issue in the
is just
history of the human
outrageous.
race. This is something I believe in my heart, that the truth on this issue will literally set us free.
Karaoke at the 910 Legion.
I don't see any way it's ever going to end. The nature
Wait,
of the information
Legion? Isn't
itself,
that the name
I
of
mean,
an omnipresent
we all
demon?
say we have a right to know. We want to know. We're ready. I'm not
How does
sure
this
we
tie
are
into
ready.
AI?
You know, some of the more outrageous aspects of alien visitation, UFOs, are downright scary. And we can say we're ready all we want, but I think when you get right down to it, it would have
Well,
severe
okay, but
ramifications.
listen, Luna.
Sightings.
Listen, we need to be rational about this, okay? What's going to happen if you go over to the lounge and you guys are having a good time, you're singing some Creed, and then Josh comes in? Then what happens? You see what I'm saying? That'll really, I mean, that could really disrupt the evening.
Is in the midst of its own investigation into charges of a government UFO conspiracy. We have examined hundreds of documents, including this
Watch an
Air Force
interview with
study
John
that concludes
Titor
that
while
there is
high
a
on
possibility of
super high
alien
in the
visitors
desert
to
of
our
New
planet,
Mexico. That sounds
or at
good.
least of alien-controlled UFOs. We'll bring you our full report on upcoming
Yeah, Josh
editions of
sucks
Sightings.
from what I'm understanding.
When Sightings continues,
But I
they've
only
been
have
hidden
Luna's
from
side of the
West,
story.
but
She
now,
could be a
Russian
complete
psychics
lunatic.
share their healing secrets.
She saved my life.
Luna, are you willing to submit to a lie detector?
In the 1970s, Americans saw startling black and white film
What's up, Izzy?
of Russian psychics apparently endowed with telekinetic powers. Were they fakes, magicians, or could they really move objects with the
You'll
power
just
of the mind?
well, see then. But do you want to have to
Americans
do
had
that?
no
Do you want to be always looking over your shoulder to see if Josh, the wannabe stepdad from your neighbor's boyfriend's dad, is lurking somewhere in the shadows?
Of knowing Russia was a closed society. But today, our
Yeah, I
science
would
crew
play some
travels
James
freely
Randi.
in a more open Russia, searching for those legendary
I think maybe we
psychics.
have at some point.
In Moscow, our Russian
Do you guys remember the stream where we listened to the Sudbrink tapes, like the audio that were supposedly like an alien call or something? And then after that, we listened to all the uncensored Mel Gibson divorce conversations with his wife.
Contact suggested that film of psychics with telekinetic powers was part of a U.S.
To be honest, you don't
propaganda
lie.
campaign
Well, I mean,
aimed
if you're
at
a
discrediting
lunatic,
the
you
Soviet
don't
Union.
know.
And that while America was focused on bogus mentalists,
Is it
real
alright if you
Russian
invite Josh to
psychics were
join the
healing
chat?
people
I mean, it's a
with
public
serious
chat.
illnesses.
She saved my life.
They say I died 10 times.
Hold on, what's this? I want to see the names again,
She
sorry.
saved my life.
Vadim Belozirov.
They say
Dazim
I died
Forsavo.
10 times. With the help
Anna
of a healer, my
Solonovich.
child recovered before my eyes.
Our sightings team has interviewed many people throughout the former
You ran
Soviet
up to your
Union
house?
who
I'm
claim
sorry,
that they
that's
have
no
been
way to
healed
live, Luna.
through the supernatural power of a psychic healer. And no healer
my God, is
more
this for
renowned
real?
than 65-year-old Maria Larionova, who believes that she can transfer healing energy through her hands.
I operate with cosmic
Maria
instruments.
Larionova.
My hands
That's a
are
great
covered
name.
with invisible gloves. On my right hand there are inscriptions and the
It's a
stamp
me,
of 3
Marionova.
saints.
The cosmic symbols
podcast,
that
Mario
Larionova
time.
describes are not visible to the naked eye, but X-rays of her right hand reveal this strange pattern beneath the skin. Larionova believes that this pattern was placed in her hand to remind her of the mysterious healing
Oh yeah,
energy
that was a
she
great.
possesses.
That's a great show that
And
he
her
has.
claims are supported by
ZXV plays
government-run
those
health
sometimes on his
organizations,
channel.
which place tremendous faith in the power of Larionova and other psychic healers.
Since I was born, I have always known that I
Mazia
can raise the
Solimonia.
dead, heal and solve
Solomonia.
problems that people have on Earth. When I
Oh boy,
meditate,
imagine
I
you shell
connect
out
with
some
my
money and
own
this is what you
spirit
get for
first,
it.
and then with the spirit of the Heavenly Father. The Cosmic Father with the Cosmic Reason. I feel energy pouring down from space and touching me. At these times, I can
With your feet, like through grounding?
Edward Naumov is president of the International
Or do you mean it's like a through a
Psychotropic
foot fetish
Association
type,
and
a
a
Miss
leading
Hayes
authority
type
on
scenario?
parapsychology. He has traced psychic healers as far back as Ivan the Terrible,
Lying
through
anew.
Rasputin's supposed healing of Tsar Nicholas II's
Oh, no.
hemophiliac son, and into the present.
Many powerful people secretly asked for advice and used it. Like Stalin, Brezhnev himself was treated by a psychic healer. There have always been a lot of psychics in Russia. The Inquisition did not kill them. They were killed in the West and
Edward
therefore they were
Naumov.
cured there. But in Russia,
I love the
many
suit.
such
Look at that
talented
tie.
psychics
Fantastic.
remained.
Sightings was invited to observe a demonstration of psychic healing.
Oh boy, here we
Carillion
go.
photographs of Mazia's fingertips were taken before and will be taken after
What
the healing
concert is it?
session.
Slayer?
These photographs are said to capture an electromagnetic aura emanating from the human body. This woman is suffering from liver disease. Before Mazia begins, doctors take baseline readings of the patient's physical condition using an electronic sensor popular in Russia, but little known in this country. Doctors will compare these readings to those taken after the patient session with Mazia.
My grandmother
I'm fascinated
possessed
by
a
this
healing gift
technology.
as well as a gift for black and white magic. My abilities came to me through the genes.
This is the Carillion photograph of Mazia's fingertip taken before the healing session. This is the same fingertip after the session. There is a marked increase in the amount of electromagnetism represented here in red. Researchers believe that it is this increased magnetism that somehow creates an environment conducive to healing.
What?
I felt so happy.
Irina
I even had tears in
Sukina.
my eyes.
Okay,
but It
whatever.
was from happiness. I felt extremely light. I wanted to fly away.
And when the doctors compared readings that they had taken before and after the session, there were dramatic changes in the patient's physiology.
Depends on which country they're from.
All organs are returning to normal. It seems
I did think about that though. I wondered, like, with the immigration situation here in the United States, like what kind of an impact is that going to have on reality TV? Because there's a lot of shows that rotate around or like revolve around, the visa process and essentially, importing a partner. I don't want to say buying a partner, but you know what I mean.
that they are in balance and she has entered the corridor of hell.
But the doctors also cautioned us that the effects of the healing seem to be temporary. Doctors here are continuing to work with Mazia and other psychic healers.
I think if
in
you
a
go to this kind
long-term
of a
study.
doctor, I think you gotta trust them unless you're just
I have
trying
had
to
many
bust them
different
out.
treatments over the years for my condition. I have even been declared
I don't think
dead
anybody's on the
10 times
fence
before
about whether or
finding
not this is
this
real. You either
procedure.
believe in it or you don't.
Larionova specializes in healing spinal
It's
injuries
Katie? Oh,
and severe
no.
spinal deformities. She claims that she can relieve
Oh, poor
pain
Grace.
and correct deformities through a kind of psychic massage in which
She's
she
got
transfers
her
energy into her patients.
scoliosis.
During healing sessions, Sightings observed Larionova emitted a
I'm a
strange
bone bender.
whistling sound that she told us was
This
an
is
audible
awful. This
manifestation
is so
of the mysterious
exploitative.
power inside her. Another
Like, these
seeming
poor people,
manifestation
man,
of
they're
Larionova's
suffering.
power can be seen in these photographs. Special heat-sensitive film has captured something surrounding Larionova's hands that resembles a mist or fog. Only her hands have been photographed in this way, leading researchers to believe there is an important connection between this phenomenon and Larionova's supposed psychic powers. As strange as these healing methods may seem to us, they are part of a long tradition of healing in Russia that has outlasted changing governments and ideologies.
Since Imperial Russia, we have looked for a material source of paranormal phenomena. In the West, only the psychological part has been developed, while we try to penetrate the depths of psychology and physiology.
We're trying to penetrate the depths here in Russia.
We are only now learning what 70 years of communist rule tried to
Bring
keep
in the
hidden.
leeches, yes.
Throughout Russia and the Commonwealth
Old
of Independent
foggy
States,
fingers.
psychics are performing healing miracles worthy of further study using Western methods. But the study has yet to begin.
Oh my God.
For many people, psychic healing is a last resort after all traditional medical approaches have failed. But in most of the towns and villages throughout the former Soviet Union, psychic healers are the only healers. Their psychic powers are accepted without question, just as they have been for centuries.
Next, a crop circle update.
Oh,
What
great.
is the British government hiding?
These formations are the product of a creative and inventive intelligence.
Recently, Sightings brought you remarkable videotape of mysterious lights that appear to be creating a crop circle in southern England. The British Ministry of Defense dismissed the lights, claiming they were simply reflections from helicopter strobe lights. But the lights keep appearing, and the crop circles
The Jim
keep
Carrey
forming.
movie, Luna?
If the Avebury mystery lights are simply reflections and crop circles are all hoaxes, why is this military helicopter so interested in this field in southern England, a field where a new crop circle has just been formed? If they have nothing to hide, why do they appear to be threatening this civilian photographer with low-altitude maneuvers?
Stop intimidating me with your low-altitude maneuvers.
Despite what he perceived as a direct threat, the photographer continues filming the helicopter. He tracks it to an adjoining field, where the chopper suddenly stops and begins to hover just above a bright, anomalous light.
They'd be right,
The light
though.
is
Like,
seen
that's an
here,
accurate
more
take.
brilliant than sunlight, pulsing in a seemingly random pattern. One witness recorded his on-site impressions.
Some flashing thing under the ground.
Many seriologists, crop circle experts, are investigating the possibility that these lights are, in some way, related to crop circles.
Is there a sequel to
One
Liar
theory being
Liar? I
tested
remember they made
suggests
one for
that the
Dumb and
lights are
Dumber.
swirling energy
Well, he
balls
made an
that
official one, but they
create
did
an
a
electromagnetic vortex which
knockoff one
flattens
too.
but does not burn crops.
Was there a Liar
Researchers
Liar
do not
sequel?
believe it is a coincidence that crop circles appear almost
There was
immediately
another.
after the lights
There
are
was a
observed.
movie called Big Fat Liar.
What we've seen repeatedly is malfunctioning of
Mysterious lights are in my
electronic equipment
eyes.
in the fields, which instantly starts to work again as soon as you go out.
The effect of this unknown energy seems to wreak havoc with more than just electronic equipment. Many people
Yeah.
claim to have felt its effects.
Your grandpa's feeling better. That's
It's
good.
known as getting zapped, and a first echelon zap is simply a standard headache, standard nausea. It lasts a couple of hours after you leave the circle. I've had this experience personally. And then there are circles which are so energetic. Everybody who goes in them
Now I feel like
at the
I.
start feels ill.
They made so many
we've
shit
had one
sequels
this
there
year
for a
which was
while.
so
Like it's
powerful.
hard to
3
even.
people became unconscious.
I'm trying to remember if there
within
was
the
one.
circle.
They made a sequel to
Not a world
Bruce
away,
Almighty
in
too.
Canada, Pat Grant, who is blind, has also
And it was like a
experienced
weird,
strange
like,
effects
Christian
inside a crop circle.
Movie with Steve
And when we
Carell.
walked in,
Whoa,
I
Pat
got
Grant.
very, very frightening.
Marlboro Red.
Like there was something out there that was watching me that I didn't know about. It was just a very
Luna,
eerie,
have
eerie
you? Did your grandpa look
force,
into any
around
faith
me.
healing at
I
all,
think
Luna?
that whatever is doing this, whoever is doing this,
Vinny Slugga's mom was in the hospital
is
too for a while. I
very
think she's back
concerned
home
for
though.
us that these
Yeah, Evan
formations
Almighty.
are the product of a massive and prodigious intelligence, a creative and inventive intelligence.
Finley.
They are not taking over the radio waves and making some verbal announcement in our own terms, which we can then talk about and consider and have meetings at the UN about, because they know that's not worked.
Seriologist Michael Glickman continues to find new
Michael
formations
Glickman.
around the world that support his contention that this will be another magic year, as he calls
I
it,
can't believe
for
we're
crop circles.
only again.
When
This
sightings
weed
return.
must like
I
really
looked up and I saw
put me in
blood
like a state of
trickling
time
down on the wall.
Ghostly entities haunt the old Oregon Trail.
dilation.
Then, guided imagery may save the life of this child. And is it a myth, or can pets really predict violent earth changes?
Had to get a gallbladder out. That's
It's
not
called
too
America's
bad.
longest
Wings of
graveyard.
Redemption had his
Between
gallbladder taken
1840 and
out.
1860, more than 300,000 pioneers used the Oregon Trail to reach the west, and more than 20,000 died and were buried along the way. Well, now, more than
The
a century
Trail
later,
of
people in an
Death.
area near the Oregon Trail's end believe that they are being haunted. Journal entry, 1843. My wife is sick. I carry my babe through snow and mud and water almost to my knees.
1 in 10 of the people who started west would die on the trail.
Oh, remember her from Facts of Life?
1 in 10 of the people who started west would die on the trail.
The 2,000-mile-long Oregon Trail exacted a terrible human toll. For every mile of trail, there are about 15 unmarked graves.
There were many accidents, gunshots.
Oh yeah, I remember
children
Oregon Trail.
falling out of wagons and being run over by wheels.
The wagons were filled to capacity with supplies. The pioneers had to walk. It was a 5-month trek if you were one of the lucky ones.
There would be
waterproof
over
the boat to go
300,000
across the river and shit.
Who headed west, so there would be over 30,000 graves along the trail.
Today, the last stretch of the
Judy,
Oregon
what?
Trail has a new name,
Be
Interstate
serious.
80. And Trail's End is flanked by homes and industry never dreamed of by the pioneers. But for many, the pioneer spirit of those first settlers still remains.
I was getting ready for work one morning and I looked up and I saw blood trickling down on the wall.
Recently, Sightings was contacted by a family.
Wow, what a
who lived
nice
very
living,
close to
nice big
Trail's
living
End.
room, open
Although
design.
they have asked us not to reveal their last name or the town in which they live, the family wants
But here's
to
a
tell
look at the
their story.
outside of their house,
One
and
time
here's
we had
a
a,
close-up of all of their faces.
A butter knife on top of the butter.
Look at this great
And
floor plan
Sarah
in
and
this
I were
house.
watching
Of course, we're
television,
spinning
and,
rapidly, so it's
all
hard
of a
for me
sudden
to
the
believe.
knife
I see. I
flew
like
across
that.
the kitchen.
Whoa!
Julie, Gary, and their daughter Sarah believe that they are living with ghosts. Ghosts from the Oregon Trail.
They come in different forms, like they come in like lights.
Ben would be
or they
relaxing in the
come
back of the wagon.
as real people.
Grace, throw me a potato.
By the table in the living room, and we'd come home and the plant would be in the middle of the floor.
Julie and Gary believe that these photographs capture physical manifestations of apparitions the entire family has felt, including the family dog.
Our dog Bandit, he sits there and he looks the air, he barks at like somebody's petting him.
Most of the activity takes place in what used to be Sarah's bedroom.
I woke up one night, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I saw someone, it was just like a light. And
No, I
uh,
don't watch Crime Watch Daily. I do watch a lot of Chris
I
Hansen
didn't
stuff,
think
though.
anything of it until
I'm never sure how
and
stream
I started
safe it
walking
is,
towards my room.
since some of them
And
were
then
like
I turned
produced
over
by
so I
big
wouldn't have to
companies.
see 'em, and then I got a bloody nose, which usually happens when they're near me.
She'd get to the point that she wouldn't go into her room. Sarah would have to sleep on the floor in our bedroom because she was afraid to go into her room.
When the spirits turned violent,
Look at
Julie
this
called
guy's
in a
awesome
local
looking,
psychic
man.
and family friend.
Where are you today?
Linda felt the presence of a pioneer spirit too. She did some research and discovered that the home was built on land once owned by pioneers who had lost many family members to the Oregon Trail.
There's no doubt in my mind that the whole area is haunted by pioneers that were killed along the trail.
Although only one family has come forward, many locals told our Sightings crew, off the record, about the ghost of a little boy who wanders through town.
One day my friend and I were walking down by the playground and there's a little boy and he was holding onto the pole like he was very scared. And when we looked back, 10 seconds later, he was gone. Well, there's no way he could have gone out of the playground because the whole entire playground is fenced. And if he would have gone out, we would have heard him and seen him.
It's a beautiful playground.
Then I don't want to watch like the amateur hunters, because a lot of times it seems like those end up some kind of scandal afterward of it being the wrong person or.
Children, and it frightens the children.
Sightings asked parapsychologist Dr. William Roll, an expert in psychokinesis, to conduct an investigation. He was joined by paranormal researcher Alex Thomas.
And there seems to be a line of activity coming through from that far wall through this corner. Okay.
Sure.
Was this your room, Sarah?
Yeah.
The team believes that the haunting here is caused by a phenomenon known as place memory.
There has been so many things pass through this area, so many people, so many tragedies. The Oregon Trail, the trail of death. In this particular case, the stuff that's being generated from deep within inside the earth is much like the playback portion
Man,
of
how
the
many
tape
collars does that
recorder,
guy have?
and the mind is acting like the speaker.
Dr.
Devil
Roll
lighting?
believes a geologic fault located
Oh
directly
no,
under
Luke
the
West
home
on the playground.
may be influencing the ghostly activity.
Sometimes the natural energies combine to create very striking effects. One of the effects
These
are
ghosts
it's
are
like sort of
very scary.
mini tornadoes, sometimes light.
That is why I have to charge
Very often
$300 an hour.
But electromagnetic anomalies generated by the fault don't explain the poltergeist activity.
Don't
Julie
explain
reported
Bandit
seeing.
and his
Some
random
of the occurrences
licking of
in
the air.
room, such as the plant moving across the floor, appear to be due to PK, to psychokinesis, a mind over matter effect.
Dr. Roll believes that the haunting is caused by unusual natural forces combined with supernatural residue imprinted on the land. His findings have encouraged the family in their
What does that
decision
even
to
mean?
move away, somewhere with less history, far from the Oregon Trail.
No one can say with certainty whether or not Central Oregon is experiencing spiritual residue from the past. But this story does remind us that the American dream is often built on the suffering of those who tried but failed to make it.
True.
Next, guided imagery is saving lives.
Oh boy.
With this visualization.
Our consciousness form a blueprint for what our body does.
Oh my gosh.
In the past year alone, over $100 billion has gone towards finding a cure for cancer. There have been some promising advances, but progress is slow, and people who are dying can't afford to wait. Many search for a cure outside of the medical mainstream, and sometimes they find it.
Do I like the band Fu Manchu? I don't think I've ever heard of them.
I'd get up in the middle of the night just 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up and put a mirror underneath him just to make sure he was still
I like to
breathing.
listen to the
It
Famous
was every
Twins.
parent's worst nightmare. When he was only 3 years old, Rocky Edwards was diagnosed with leukemia.
Man, there's a lot of
Early detection,
tearjerkers in this
radiation,
one.
and chemotherapy put the disease into early remission. But at age 9, the cancer came back. Dr. Maureen Halasik is a radiation oncologist who reviewed Rocky's case.
In 1985, Rocky Edwards was found to have a large tumor of the brain called a meningioma. He underwent 2 surgeries, the latter
Dr.
of which only
Maureen
removed part of the
Halasik.
brain tumor. This was followed by external beam radiation, which was completed in April of 1986.
The following summer, there was a 3rd attempt to remove Rocky's brain tumor. It was unsuccessful.
Damn,
His
3
parents
attempts?
were told that their
Oh,
son
man.
had less than a year
Poor
to live.
kid.
They took him home to die.
I can remember standing in the
Oh, my
hallway
God.
outside his room, and the doctor said to us, "There's nothing more we can do. We've done everything surgically possible." He said, "Take him home. Enjoy him. If you haven't passed Christmas, consider yourselves lucky."
I wasn't at all willing to talk about death. I just didn't even want to look at
Terry
that possibility,
Edwards.
even though it was definitely there.
Rocky's physical deterioration was rapid. He was paralyzed
Oh
on
my
one side
God.
of his body, and mentally, he quickly descended into a deep depression.
I didn't like myself at that particular time when I came back because due to the medicines they had me on, it made me
Yeah, they do that
blow
sometimes
up
on
like
here.
a balloon, just about. And that had a lot to do with it when I came back.
Oh my God, he's still
But
alive?
Rocky came from a family of fighters. His mother searched for an alternative.
Oh my gosh,
family
I didn't know he was
and
still
found
alive.
A light at the end of the tunnel. Deirdre Brigham is the author of Imagery for Getting Well and the director of the
Hulkamania.
behavioral medicine clinic that treats people suffering
Thank
from critical
God Rocky
illnesses.
was a Hulkamaniac.
What we do is deal with the
That guy's
emotional
asleep.
and psychological and the
Deirdre
spiritual issues
Davis
that
Brigham.
frequently come when you're faced with a critical illness.
Let's take time now to go on a journey.
The cornerstone of the Getting Well program is a process called guided imagery. Here, Rocky
Guided
is creating
imagery.
a series of images in his mind that help
Hulkster
him fight
in
his
heaven.
disease.
Amazing things happen.
people begin to relax. The blood vessels are not tightening up. The heart begins to slow down. The immune system begins to work well. And that's sort of basically what we're geared upon. That our imagery, our beliefs, our consciousness form a blueprint for the way our life is going to be
Okay, so
lived.
why does
and
she
for
need to be
frequently
part
for
of
what
this
our body
process?
does. Rocky didn't need an awful lot of help. He had in mind what he wanted to do.
At the time, the first thing that popped in my head was the Ghostbusters, which happened to be one of my favorites then. And what I did is I
Ghostbusters.
kind of pictured the Ghostbusters and then nice little handy packs, but with God's light coming out of them, like in a laser beam. And I kind of pictured the tumor itself like a big giant ball of
Wow,
something,
this is intense.
cloud, and the Ghostbusters aiming their lights, hitting this ball, disintegrating it, and making it disappear.
Imagery.
So basically, I don't remember, what did they call it? Visual imaging. So basically what they're saying is it's just like a more mindful, focused meditation where your focus is on manifesting something specific. In this case, like a health issue.
Mental well-being may help from the standpoint of immunity, which is needed to fight disease.
The Getting Well program was founded on the principle that mental well-being,
One movie you never
laughter,
saw
and
is
love
Mask.
are the keys
Yeah.
to physical recovery.
I don't like the idea of terminal. I think
I
that we're
watched
making
that
a
not
lot
too
of
long ago.
assumptions when we say someone
I don't remember
has
if
a
I
terminal
reviewed it or
illness,
not.
because there's not a single illness that there is not at least one person who has recovered from it. And I say, if there's one chance in 100, one chance in 1,000, why not go for it? Why shouldn't you be the one? When a physician gives a patient a time diagnosis as to the remaining lifespan, oftentimes the patient will program their mind and their body to expire at that time. On the other hand, alternative therapies given in conjunction with surgery and radiation may help the patient from the standpoint of their mental well-being.
After 8 months, Rocky's mental outlook improved dramatically, and guided imagery seemed to be affecting his physical body as well.
The
Psychic
doctor
barber?
who read the MRI said that there was calcification showing around the tumor and that the radiation Rocky was on was starting to work.
Right.
But Rocky was not on radiation at that time.
I'm gonna try to
so we
meditate
just felt it was
and
the light
manifest
that
Daisy
was,
coming
Rocky
back
was
to life.
directing at the tumor.
In 1991, Rocky had another MRI. His parents wanted to check the size of his tumor, but the tumor was gone.
I believe it was a number of things.
Yes,
to,
it's a good movie.
help cure the tumor.
It's pretty
I
wild.
believe the getting well had a lot to do with it. I believe I had a lot to do with it for fighting to live, and I believe my family, my parents had a lot to do with it.
Without the program, Rocky would have died.
Speaking of RFK Jr., the new, I don't know if you guys read Mad Magazine, but the cover of the new Mad Magazine is like that movie, The Reanimator. It's like the poster of Reanimator, but it's RFK in like the Herbert West position.
Most definitely. Without going through the getting well, I feel he would not be here today. Modern science can't tell us.
Some people say you sound like it. You sound like Cher, but you're confirming directly that you sound like Joan Jett.
Special case. I'll just say I am one of the lucky ones that fought my way through.
I think
this case
positivity and
because I
like
wasn't
hope
gonna let
can
it
be helpful
people that
because
come in here are
some people they'll like lower your
And it doesn't mean
stress levels
exceptionally
definitely.
intelligent
However
or
you can do that.
exceptionally rich or whatever, but there is something within them that is willing to risk things for their
You didn't know
own
Mad
dreams.
Magazine still
That's a
existed,
very
yeah.
courageous person and a very
It's a
special
really
person.
funny. You should
But if
look
a
for the
person's willing
cover.
to
It's a
do
really
that,
funny. It's a
it can
real
happen
funny
to
looking
anyone.
cover.
It's important to note that guided imagery
Wow, Luna,
is
the
not
Ryan White
intended to
story.
replace a patient's current course of cancer treatment. No one should undertake
What a
any
what a
alternative
vibe killer.
therapy without discussing it first with their own doctor.
Don't put
When sightings
exclamation
returns,
mark
the
Ryan
experts
White.
call it
Quake
sense, and it
sense.
may save your life.
I know this sounds
Okay,
crazy.
listen, guys. Would you watch this movie if it was on Sci-Fi Channel? Like a Sci-Fi Channel original? they have all these different like type of tornadoes and hurricanes and like earthquakes. What do you guys think that in 2025 you could make a movie called AIDS Quake, where like the ground open up, but instead of like, bats flying out of the ground or like some weird zombie gas, what if it was just AIDS that came up out of the ground? Could that work in the modern era?
But I know
Assuming you had like a
the
Mario
earthquake.
Lopez level lead in it.
It's been a year since the 6.8 Northridge earthquake hit
I
Southern
would tune in
California.
for AIDS
The
Quake.
freeways are being rebuilt and homes and businesses are being restored, but nerves are still frayed. When will the big one strike? Seismologists
You
say it's
subscribed to
impossible
Mad
to
for
predict
years
the
when you were a
exact date of
kid.
any earthquake, but some people believe that animals possess a sixth sense.
Oh my
that
God,
warns them
Luna.
when the earth is about to move.
Wow.
It's called quake sense.
Bear Kano, yeah.
Fish will jump in the air sometimes before earthquakes. Just whole schools of fish leaping in the air.
The pigeons really went, if I can use the phrase, bonkers.
I know this sounds crazy, but I know my cat predicted the earthquake.
Oh my God.
Mainstream scientists dismiss these accounts as anecdotal.
Monkey Monsoon,
They
yeah.
insist that there is no way for any animal.
Also, like Jackie Chan has started this whole subgenre of doing like animal related movies. He did the horse racing one, which I reviewed. Now he's got one out where he's like teamed up with a panda bear.
Including humans, to predict an earthquake. But Sightings spoke with one respected scientist who disagrees.
I was sort of unwilling for many years to accept that
Yeah, and
animals
they're
really
like,
knew something that
everybody's trying to keep ahead of the virus as it like spreads throughout like humanity. You know what I mean? It's just like you're running away from. I was kind of inspired by that movie The Day After Tomorrow, where they're like literally running from being cold. Like the frost is like freezing everything right behind them, and they have to like run. And I was like, what if you were. If you can run away from just being cold, you could certainly run away from like, you just have like a wall of AIDS chasing people.
that our scientific gadgets couldn't detect.
Jim Birkeland is a geologist who spent 20 years analyzing earthquakes for Santa Clara County, California. During that time, he noticed
You think
that
animals
an
can
unusually high
sense an
number of
earthquake?
pets ran away from home
There,
just before a big quake.
I feel like some animals are
reading
definitely
the
like
lost
really
and
in
found column,
tune on like storms and
And I
shit.
almost shuddered to see 27 missing cats when I was used to seeing 3 or 4. What do the cats know that I didn't? They're reacting to the electromagnetic field and the magnetic fields that change prior to quakes. This is documented. We know that these changes occur. And I'm convinced that
Contagion.
animals can detect these changes.
Before
Hiroshima.
Birkeland began linking animals and earthquakes, he was well
Look
known
at this
for his
awesome
seismic
computer
windows
desk.
theory that the changing gravitational pull between the moon, sun, and Earth has a
I did,
reciprocal
what
effect
in the
on
world
earthquakes.
was anti Jackie Chan about that? There was there was just a factual statement. There was no positive or negative
Combining that
connotation
theory with
at all.
information about missing pets in Northern California, Birkeland accurately predicted the 7.1 quake that hit San Francisco in 1989.
World
This
Series
newspaper
quake.
account of Birkeland's prediction appeared 4 days before the actual quake occurred.
I have never seen anybody predict
Building a
earthquakes
doghouse? What's up,
as
Dave's
accurately
channel?
as he does.
Nick Corini raises championship homing pigeons.
Championship
He depends on Jim
homing
Birkeland's predictions
pigeons,
before
okay.
racing his birds competitively.
This was
Just
Mike
before we have
Tyson's
earthquakes,
inspiration.
They become very, very energetic, very active. They're very uncomfortable, and it affects them tremendously in a very negative way.
The negative effect on his pigeons that Corini describes has been documented scientifically.
Mother Nature, please stop
When the
bullying
pigeons
pigeons.
are trying to come home, they know where north is, they use the magnetic field to come home, and if the magnetic field gets distorted, the pigeon races can be endangered. And they don't like to fly, and that's usually just before an earthquake, as the pigeons fly over a quake area that's about to kick off.
We know that animals have senses that are much more developed
Oh, you're not
than
living in
ours.
it?
Dr. Bernadine Cruz believes that animals do have special sensitivities that humans do not possess.
Animals have some abilities that we will never have. A dolphin's ability to echolocate, a bat's ability to send out these sonar waves and to pick it up and to be able to get around basically blind. I don't know if I can honestly say that an animal can tell when an earthquake is about to happen. I think they can sense that there are changes that are going on in their environment.
The problem with animal prediction of
Are you
earthquakes is it's so
inviting,
difficult
hold
to
on, let me
interpret
make
what
sure I
the
understand
animals
this. Are you inviting the Thorpes to your home?
are doing.
But seismologist Dr. Kate Hutton does concede that there
I
are subtle
watched the
warnings
horse
before a
racing
quake
movie.
that
What do you?
animals may be picking up.
We know
I supported
there
it.
are
I paid $3.
electrostatic changes in a few hours or minutes before an earthquake because of the strain being released in the crust. And they might be sensing that.
Following the 1994 Northridge earthquake, many people reported
Slayer
that their
concert.
pets had sensed the quake before it happened, including Sightings' own writer.
Are you planning on any kind of party favors? Maybe some,
very insistently.
maybe a drink or two, or something a little more, you know, mentally stimulating.
In the closet. It happened over and over, and I kept saying, "What's
Maybe
wrong? What's
muscle
wrong?"
relaxants.
Unfortunately, I didn't know what it was that she was trying to tell me. So I went back
The
to bed and I
Thorpes
said
look
to my
like
husband, "That's it, we're
squatters.
taking
They're
you
not
to the bed in the
squatters. They
morning." I
have
mean, there's
multiple
something wrong
properties,
with the
just like
cat.
Wings of Redemption.
And then when the earthquake hit,
They
I
have
knew what
a
was
home
wrong.
now, and they have
Cats handle
well,
stress
they
in a
always
lot
did.
of
They
different
just were
ways.
scared to go to it.
Cats oftentimes, when they get stressed, will become very reclusive.
But they
They'll
have
just go
they
ahead
have their
and
home,
hide.
the apartment, and then
But
they also
can
have
pets
the
really
studio.
succeed with quake sense, where the most delicate scientific instruments have failed?
being the writer for Sightings, I have to be skeptical because we hear all kinds of stories from all kinds of people. Some of them are hoaxes, some of them are genuine.
What about J-Rock?
So when I started telling people at Sightings that my cat had predicted the earthquake, they were dealing with me in the same skeptical way, and I was mad.
No, this lady called up. She's like, hey, you know, my cat can predict earthquakes. Those people at Sightings were like, ma'am, we'll have someone on the next flight. They got there ASAP for this story.
Cat. I was saying, wait a minute, my cat predicted the earthquake.
Yeah, they're still in the
They were
apartment.
kind of, yeah, sure. So I had a little bit of a taste of being on the other side.
Jim Birkeland is used to being on the other side. His earthquake
Low
prediction
risk of
methods are
natural
looked at with
disasters in Rhode
skepticism
Island.
by his colleagues.
I had to make that choice some years ago. Was I going to conform or was I going to inform? And I've come down on the side of informing because I have a greater duty to the society.
Many people in earthquake country report that their pets act strangely right before a big jolt, but their accounts aren't specific. Until pet owners begin writing down and documenting their animals' behavior,
Please
the
start
concept
documenting
of
all
quake
these
sense
predictions.
will remain unproved and unaccepted by science.
If you've had a paranormal experience, call the Sightings
65
hotline,
cents per minute.
1-900-933-SIGHT. That's 1-900-933-7444.
Well, now you're in
Each
and
call
out under
65
$2
cents a minute.
to tell
Average
them
call
that
lasts 3
whatever
minutes.
your story
Sightings
is. That's
is
not
also
too bad.
online. Our email address is sightings@aol.com.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an open mind. For Sightings,
Yeah, keep that in
I'm Tim
mind.
White.
Dave's channel. Hosted by
Next
Tim
on
White.
Sci-Fi, The Sentinel.
On this edition of Sightings.
Okay, this is season 3, episode 15. The next one. This is going to be a good one. Time travel, New Mexico UFO, cattle mutilation update. And are you ready for this one? Buckle up for this one. You've heard of the sixth sense, right? We're going to look at the seventh sense.
It's called Blood Alley, a perilous highway that may lead to a deadly crack in time.
And Blood Alley?
thought that death was around the next corner.
Then, have extraterrestrial visitors returned to the site of a UFO crash?
There appears to
Why
be
do you
some
think
type
Grace
of
is a
intelligence
warlock?
behind the phenomena.
Look, if Grace is a warlock, she's really bad at it, and so we probably shouldn't draw attention to it. Because if she was if the Thorpes have any kind of mystical powers, something's going haywire with the spells, I think.
Have the power to work miracles.
I
Cicero
wanted
the
enough
psychic
of a
cat
face to
stream.
be able to blend into a crowd.
He's right there, you can see
A
him.
psychic's vision provides clues to a brutal crime
He's
in
in, like,
North
the-
Carolina.
I would suspect
He
this
likes
is
to be
someone
right in the
capable of
frame.
becoming a serial killer.
Finally, an update. The
Yeah, this
bizarre
is going to be
mutilations
a...
continue
Well,
in
she
New
doesn't
Mexico.
look like a warlock. How dare you?
Next, I hope, huh?
Grace looks like a fine, upstanding trad girl who should definitely give me the links to those unlisted streams that I need. Grace is the Valkyrie of the squad. Like right when the battle reaches its fever pitch, that's when you drop in the Valkyrie, and they just start attacking everybody, friend and foe.
Emotions don't dissipate. Instead, they
Probably
linger
smells like a
and can
warlock
take on
under
life
that
of their
skirt.
own.
Wow.
In places of great upheaval
Everybody
or
coming for
tragedy,
Grace's
this
vaginal
concentration
health
of
today.
emotional energy can become so strong it actually warps time and space, providing a window into another dimension. It's a theory that may explain the eerie events along a lonely stretch of road in Northern California.
It was like all of a sudden, time became like a glass cage of horror. It was like I couldn't push out of it.
There was something bad or evil
Yeah,
taking
'cause
possession
Melon.
of not just me and not just my car, but everybody else, the truck drivers, the car drivers, everybody was being like possessed by something.
No, she's
that was
open to
driving
it.
them.
Ananje. She said she would. She just doesn't want to like look them up. So like I need to have the specific date of the streams, and I don't have really any way of knowing that.
To
She seems open to it.
I was so scared I just wanted to get out of there. And I
You
was
think the Thorpes
actually
cursed
driving
themselves
out
in a
control.
Twilight
The
Zone
car
type
was kind of swerving
situation?
and different things, and I just kept trying to get as fast as I could to get out of there.
Pacheco Pass Highway, 42 miles of twisting mountain road that traverses the line between Central and Northern
Blood
California.
Alley.
Since the 1970s, there have been 169 fatalities here.
It was a nightmare. It had the nickname
Officer
of
Bob
Blood
Arnold.
Alley. Due to the heavy
He
volume
knew
of
he'd look
traffic,
badass with this pose and his
twisting
lights
mountainous
going.
road, you had a potential there for a lot of traffic accidents.
Blood
We, in
Alley
fact,
was his
did
one
have a
chance
lot
at the
of
big
traffic
time, and he went
accidents on
for it.
Pacheco Pass Highway.
But many people who have driven through Pacheco Pass say it's more than the switchbacks and narrow lanes that make this highway so dangerous.
This is trippy.
Coming back from a trip, coming around one of the curves, all of a sudden I was hit by such an overpowering
What a day.
panic.
Who'd we have
I began
earlier?
to
George Knapp, and now
feel
we
that
have
I was
Sylvia
being
Brown.
invaded. I saw a little girl with her hands pressed up to her eyes, screaming, "Help me, help me." I saw
Katie
men hanging
Thornton.
up on a hill, like somebody had put them up on a gallows. It was like a montage of horror.
You think your cat just ate a Dorito?
Sylvia Brown is not the only motorist.
I'm
who
going to
has been
submit
haunted
to
by
Ruby a
bizarre
video of
apparitions in
Cicero
Pacheco
trying a
Pass.
wrap snack chip
I was
for her
driving
next
through
pet
Pacheco Pass
segment.
at night, and I started hearing
David
voices come
Wales.
from the back seat, kind of low, and then it started growing. And at first, I thought I was just tired, so I
Pacheco Pass? Well, yeah, especially if it's a
rolled down the
portal
window,
to
trying to get
other
some cold air,
timelines.
But then the voices kept getting stronger and stronger, and I was just terrified. I kept trying to drive faster and faster, and I started hearing sounds of horses, like on the sides of the car. There was 3 men outside and 2 women inside, and the noise kept going, and it kept getting louder and louder. You could hear like the wagon. that
Well,
they
if
were
you're a
in kept
fan of Luna, make sure you turn in. Or tune in. Make sure you turn in. Make sure you go to sleep. Make sure you tune in on Saturday, because we're going to have a head-to-head competition between Luna or her king. We'll just pick the best song of the weekend from Luna and her king, Lee Cypress. We're going to go head-to-head with another karaoke singer that I found, and we're going to let chat decide who gets the title of the, like, you know, karaoke royalty in the Boyd.
creaking and crashing, and it would like slam down, and things were clanking and chains against
Sack of
the side,
Doritos?
and
That sounds like a
the wind was
mobster
screaming
name.
each time it came
Jimmy
down,
Sack of
and it lasted
Doritos.
maybe like 10 minutes total.
Are these echoes of the area's violent past come back to haunt modern-day visitors?
I
In
kind of
1797,
want another cat,
the
but then I
indigenous
kind
tribes
of
here
don't
were taken
too.
by force and enslaved at San Juan Bautista Mission.
Tune
They
in and
rebelled
turn up.
and massacred many settlers.
You're gonna want
In
to turn
retaliation,
in.
the tribes were almost completely wiped out. Later, Pacheco Pass became the hideout for Joaquin Murrieta.
It's gonna be a
and Tiburcio
karaoke
Vasquez,
showdown.
notorious desperados of the late 19th century.
I'm not gonna
Through
listen.
the years, the pass has
I'm not lining up tomato cans here either. Luna and her king are gonna go head to head with what I feel like are the strongest karaoke singers I can find. And you guys have seen some of the talent I've been able to unearth.
There's many violent deaths.
So just
It's been
imagine.
suggested that people traveling through the area today may be picking up visual and oral messages that have somehow been locked in time and space.
Oral
Paranormal
messages that were
researchers Sylvia
locked in
Brown
time and
Larry Beck
space?
think there is a time warp, a rip in the fabric of time in Pacheco
Oh my
Pass.
God. Okay, so basically you could be driving down this stretch of highway and then you would hear like something from the past.
Pacheco Pass seems to have some kind of, if you will,
That's kind of freaky.
tornado
Wow, look
of
at this
emotion.
guy.
And it hovers.
He's like, hey, listen, the only place I can meet you at is an Italian restaurant, but I can only be there after hours because I can't interfere with business.
And wiggles slightly, but it moves in and around the Pacheco Pass area. And it's like traumatic events all concentrated into a ball or a whirling mass or a vortex of some kind.
It's almost like there was layers of time upon time. There was fighting, there was Indians, there was covered wagons.
No.
Everything that I experienced was like blood.
Oh my God, Bethadone's content lately, like, oh my God. I feel like we need to have like I just don't have time in the schedule, but I feel like we really need to have like just a Bethadone update episode because we're really getting into some wild areas.
Bloodshed, futility, despair.
But tragically in our world, we find so many of these warps where traumas have occurred, where pain has occurred, and they
Hey
build
buddy,
upon one
take
another
it easy
until
with
they
the violent
leave
motions.
the normal
I'm
timeline
feeling
and form a
unsafe.
little cutout bubble. And if you're sensitive, you could hit it and experience those things concurrently. You could hit it in a normal timeline and form a little cutout bubble. And if you're sensitive,
See, this is what this Ruby needs to take this guy's advice right here at the end. Now listen.
the normal timeline.
Here we
form
go.
a little cutout bubble. And if you're sensitive, you could hit it and experience those things concurrently.
Perfect.
Sylvia Brown has investigated hundreds of hauntings throughout the United States, but she believes that the activity in Pacheco Pass is unique in its intensity and deserves further investigation.
It's not necessarily a haunting, but it's where a lot of activity.
No, Beth
usually
is
of a
on
negative
YouTube, but
nature
she
has
was gone for a while. She's back now, and her content is like really wild. Like it's really, I don't even know how to describe it.
on. And what it's done, as it's imprinted itself right in the atmosphere.
It's just
in a certain
we
way.
just
Physicists concede that
there's
we
no
know
way to
very
talk
little
about it
the
without deep
cosmic
diving it.
relationship between time and space. But for the California Highway Patrol,
The new
problems in the
Conjuring
past
movie?
are completely down to earth.
Of all the accidents I've worked on Pacheco Pass, I can never.
Have I?
attribute
I think
any
I've
of them to
reviewed at
any
least
type
some of
of
the
psychic
Conjuring
phenomena.
movies. I think.
The Highway Patrol has found a reason for every accident we've ever worked out there, and it's always been that way.
But no one can
Buffalo
ever know what,
Bill?
if anything, those motorists saw in the moments before their fatal accidents.
I don't know that I can put my finger on it because I'd never delved into the psychic
Lucille
all
Meyer.
that much and hadn't
Ma-
thought that
my
much
ear,
about
big ear.
Ghosts and things like that. But I did have the feeling that death was around the next corner.
I can't wait to show you this one guy on Boyd Watch. I've been like so patient. I've wanted
Is
to.
there a mysterious energy
I've
from the
wanted to
past
run the
imprinted
footage for
on
a
the
while
present?
now.
Research into time warps, or time implants as they are now being called, is in its infancy. So far, the human mind is the only instrument that seems to be capable of measuring this bizarre phenomenon.
Well, just as like a slight spoiler
Caltrans, the
on some of the
California
Beth
Department of
content, like
Transportation admits that they have.
it's a bunch of footage of her whenever she was like using, and it has these text written over the images by Beth now looking back, and it's just it's really out there content.
Considered rerouting Highway 152 away from the so-called Blood Alley. But those
The
plans are
Warrens
still on
have
the
been
drawing
on the
board.
show, I think,
In the
at least
meantime,
once.
area residents have
Or
launched a
where
private
else would
campaign
we
to
have
get
seen the
job done.
Warrens?
The estimated price tag is $150 million.
Maybe it was on a
Coming up
talk
next,
show that we
woman
saw the
uses
Warrens.
the power of her mind to come back from a disfiguring accident.
I wanted enough of a
Yeah,
place
we
to
have
be
to
able
just
blend
sit
in
down
and
and
not
we'd have to
scare
watch
people.
the whole thing.
Psychosomatic illness
Oh, yeah,
is
not
a
today,
medical
yeah.
fact. Mainstream medicine accepts without question that some people can make themselves sick through the power of the mind. So could the reverse be true? Are we capable of
Oh, I gotta show you
psychosomatic
something.
wellness? Can the same mind that creates illness also be used to heal?
All I remember thinking was, my son has to be all right. I don't care what happens to me as long as he's not hurt.
So I got out of the car. Well, first I looked at my mom, and I was just like totally shocked. You know, I just didn't expect it.
I lost consciousness at the time of the impact, and I had a very intense...
You would not want to watch back your worst moments. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the... Like I said, it's a deep... So, at the request of no one, I ordered this Robert the Doll 4-pack of these like super low-budget UK possessed doll movies, and I can't wait. I just had to share that with you.
Time. I went through the standard phases of going through the tunnel of light. Then I went into a beautiful garden.
And I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? You know? And I just yelled.
Well, and then Vegan Patriot. Maybe we should watch a VP minute at the end.
I was just shaking her, just wake up, come on, wake up.
No offense to this story, but I gotta take a piss
My father
break.
was there, and he had been dead for about 10 years. And I said, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you." And he said, "Well, I'm glad to see you too, but you can't stay." And I said, "No, I've gotten here. I'm not leaving." And he said, "No, you have to go back because there's a purpose you haven't fulfilled." And as he was saying that, my son was reviving me, and I could feel myself being pulled back into my body, and he brought me back.
That was in 1982. And from that day to this, Gary Carter has felt that her near-death experience was a turning point. She was being allowed to come back for a reason that she could barely know as she clung to life.
I kept demanding to see my mother, and my father finally said no, that she didn't have a face anymore, and he was not going to let me see her.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say her injuries were probably 9 to 10 in severity. So certainly very high levels of injury.
My eyes were sewn shut because I had a lot of cuts there. I couldn't talk because I had a tracheotomy. I couldn't smell because I didn't have a nose. I couldn't talk because I didn't have a mouth.
This patient, like many others who have facial injuries, no matter how well the surgeons repair them, they never regained exactly their original normal appearance.
Before that, I had been a model, and people always looked at me with admiration. And after the accident, without a nose and without a mouth and without a face, people looked at me with looks of horror. And I felt very guilty for upsetting them. And I wanted enough of a face to be able to blend into a crowd again and not scare people.
Her surgeons warned that the reconstruction
Okay,
process
I'm
would be
back.
long and arduous, requiring at least 10 separate surgeries.
I think I pissed
After the
out
first operation,
500%
the
of
pain
my
was
daily
unbearable.
vitamins and minerals
It was
from this
just
gorilla
horrible to
mind.
see, you know, my mom just sitting there in agony, just unable to do anything, you know, and just absolutely.
Man, you
in
really
pain.
love those fire
Intense pain,
sticks.
like a symphony. I remember it was always there, always intense. It was just horrible. It was a dreadful.
Hey Luna, make sure you
dreadful time.
subscribe to
The
Vinny
second
Sluggo.
surgery was even more excruciating.
He needs some. We need to get him up in the algorithm.
Gary's dread intensified.
And I was scared.
He was
I
unjustly
really
targeted
scared of the pain.
by YouTube
And this
and
very
had his
pushy
old
friend
channel
called
taken
me up
down.
and said, "I've heard about these wonderful pain control tapes you might like to use since you have all these years of surgery ahead of you."
The tapes came from the nonprofit Monroe Institute.
Well,
an
Luna,
education and
if we're
research
being
facility
honest
in
here,
Virginia.
a lot of the credit needs to go to It's Me, because he actually put in a lot of the legwork to get you a lot of those subscribers, but he didn't realize at the time that you already had a king. He thought you were single.
Here, sound waves are used to affect brain waves, often with amazing results.
We teach people how to use the power of their mind, how to use this
Frederick
power
Atwater,
to
that's not
promote
too bad.
healing processes, to promote optimal learning, to gain control of their life and their perceptions as they move through life.
The Institute was founded on the principle that focused states of consciousness can be achieved.
You
by
have
listening to
got, there has
combinations of
been
sounds
some
that alter
drama
brainwave
around you
patterns.
though
In this
on
focused state,
pain can be
YouTube,
eliminated.
right?
It's called the hemisync
Mostly
method.
though, Ember from your
Put one
HFF
sound in one
interactions.
ear and another sound in the other ear, and when these
You
sounds
do have a
work
rep
together
in some
inside the
chats.
brain, they alter your state of consciousness. They
I don't
actually
want to.
change the brain
I don't know
waves
enough
inside
about it,
your head.
but there were
It's
some
not subliminal.
allegations.
The tones are a part either of music or of ocean waves, depending on the different tapes.
For Gary,
He'll
the
block
tapes
you
had
for
an
no
amazing
reason.
effect. Her pain
Untrue.
threshold changed so dramatically. She asked if she could listen to a tape in the operating room.
I took the tapes in with me for the surgery to make my nose, and I told Dr. Edgerton if the tapes worked
Dr.
fine, but if
Edgerton?
not, I'd like my codeine right away, please. And he smiled and he said,
I'll have
he
my
thought it would be
codeine right away,
an
please,
interesting
doctor.
experiment. And all the doctors and nurses were quite interested as well.
And some of these operations, of course, can be very
Well, listen,
painful.
there are accusations made toward Vinny Slugga that he is blocking people, and we don't really understand why, and he kayfabes me about it. I'll be like, Vinny, are you blocking people? And he'll be like, no, my old channel got taken down. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he's blocking people. So, I don't know. He won't address it with me. As far as He-Man, I heard, this is only what I heard. I'm not passing judgment on this. There's no accusation. It's just something that I've heard a few times in the HFF chat from other chatters, is that you got in trouble for getting into like the DMs of a streamer. I don't know if that's true or not.
For a time.
But that's just
But
that's
with the aid
what's
of the
been
tapes,
floated
even
out
going
there
down
a
to
few
the
times
operating
in the
room area with the
HFF
tapes
chat.
playing, she really seemed to deal with the anxiety issues and the post-operative pain issues very well. And
What a
I think
creepy
lot of the
shot
staff
this is.
were
Looks like an
very
from
impressed
Alien
by
Autopsy.
how much these tapes helped her.
I was relaxed and happy going down into the operating room. It was like going to a fun party instead of the shakes and the queasiness I would have had before.
In Gary's case, it was very clear she did not request
H.K.
very
Edgerton?
much
No.
anesthetic when she was using the
Molly
Monroe
the
tapes.
doll.
The feeling when somebody's cutting on you when you use these tapes.
If you guys only like,
one of being
I mean, you could find out if you did a little deep dive of your own, but like, the Vinny Slugga multiverse is absolutely unhinged. I thought Jimmy had a lot of channels. Vinny Slugga, I swear, I discover new channels constantly, and some of them will have like a decade of content on them. Like the Vinny Sluggaverse is wild.
disassociated. You feel the touching and the pulling or
Magic
pushing
8
as
Ball.
they're cutting or stitching, but there's no pain associated with it. It's just like a very gentle touch.
Where you hypnotize somebody and you tell them you're
Isn't
going
that the
to burn
doll
them,
from
but you actually
Goosebumps?
reach
I
out
forget
and
what
just
that
lightly
doll's
touch
name
them.
is.
The body believes so strongly.
If you're talking about Robert the Doll, these movies that I got, this is like the original doll that like a lot of the scary doll shit is based off of. Like, it's an actual doll.
That it's going to be burned, that it will be blistered. Well, you want
I thought the
to
doll in
use
that movie was
same
like
kind of
or
mind
Goosebumps was like a
power
ventriloquist
to make
dummy.
the body believe so strongly that it's going to get healthy and it's going to have less pain, that it actually kicks in and provides all those things that are necessary for that to happen.
I had no pain after that surgery whatsoever. I used the Monroe audio tapes.
Yeah, like I said, I don't
and
put any
bruising,
stock
and I
in it,
went
but
home
that's
from
just
the
what
hospital in
that's what I
2
saw a
days
few
instead
times.
of 10.
The whole theory opens a lot of interesting possibilities. Well, we
You
are
get
just
noticed
in the
here a
very
lot, Ember.
early stages of understanding brain function.
Gary
Yeah,
continued
Molly.
to use her tapes through 7
Molly
more
Slugga.
operations. Today, she looks forward to a pain-free life and feels her purpose now is to help others through lectures and her book, Healing Myself.
We truly are all one, and we're all here to help.
What exactly is the Sluggaverse besides Vinny and his dad? I'm telling you, there is I think a real brother. Then there are fake brothers. Then there's like the Barney Slugga, the pound puppy. There's Molly Slugga, the doll sister. Vinny himself has like, I'm not joking, like it seems like dozens of channels that either have like one video or have like years of content. There's just tons of channels out there. I don't know why he does that. I don't know why he just, I mean, I understand if it gets deleted, but like a lot of them are abandoned, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, he will like start posting to them again.
Each other. And that's what I want this book to do for other people.
I've been blessed.
You had
to
a
have
period
the
on
face
Reddit
that
you
I
clipped and
have,
posted.
but I think in a way
HFF.
Mommy's more blessed to have what's happened to her, because it's changed her and it's given her a whole new outlook. And this is only a skin for me now. It used to be an identity, and now my identity's in here.
There's a lot of footage of like Vinny talking to the
I guess
camera
what
and
really
stuff
had an
that's
effect on me was
really
seeing
interesting,
my
but there's
mother
it's just
utilizing
so
these
much
tapes
content
and
out there.
utilizing the potential within herself to heal. I thought, wow, if that's possible. Really.
Okay, have we talked about this? Okay, Vinny Slugga's ex-girlfriend, what was her name? Cassie? Cassie was a woman with Down syndrome at a group home and was Vinny Slugga's girlfriend for a while. And he used to post the video calls they had. And I think that was causing some problems based on conversations that Vinny was having with her and also with people at the actual group home. I think they had an issue with Vinny posting those videos online. But eventually, then I came across multiple channels of Cassie's, but they have to, I don't know if it's videos that Cassie sent Vinny Slugga or whether it's actually her channel. But she's got one channel that's just like a whole shit ton of just karaoke videos. Like, it's a really strange internet niche, the Sluggaverse.
The door for so many more things.
The meaning of life to me before the accident was totally based on outer appearances. Now, in my second life, I look at the light bulbs.
Slugga hypnosis.
As I did in my first life.
The Monroe Institute is not suggesting that every patient should forego anesthesia in the operating room, but they do believe that as long as conventional medicine is standing by, alternative
his
therapy
battles
should
with
be given the
Amazon.
chance to work first.
When Sightings continues, startling UFO activity captured on home video.
There's an excitement that builds, and it's just like
He and Cassie had that one phone call where they were talking about like the realities of having kids. Like, that was a great phone call.
Jose Escamilla used to be like a lot of other amateur sky watchers. He'd take his video camera outside.
That's what we
and hope
like
for
to
the
do
best.
here, Luna. We like
But
to
in
help
March of
small
this year,
streamers.
Jose got something. A UFO
Because that's who we
streaking
are,
across the
small
sky.
streamers.
And since then, he has shot more than 500 hours of what he believes
Finally,
is
the New
UFO
Mexico
footage.
story.
Where does Jose Escamilla live? 12 miles outside of Roswell, New Mexico.
You did email a channel holder. Now, what was the nature of these messages?
We began taping UFOs on March 5th.
Hey, did you
I got
talk
a call and
to
they said, come out to Midway, there's UFOs out here.
did you talk to Lee Cypress,
Midway,
Luna,
New
about
Mexico
doing an
is
interview?
Easy to miss if you're speeding by on the interstate.
We can break down this.
To the casual observer,
We
it's
can
just
break
another
down this
small
situation.
southwestern town.
Well,
But
listen.
look
To
up.
be honest,
There in
there's
Bro-
two places I want to go with the interview. Number one, I want to talk about Graham Hetrick and also, the situation with J Rock and his new baby. But then I also want to really focus in on this situation at the lounge. So make sure you talk to him and see what he thinks about it. We need to get the King's take on the record.
Broad daylight, strange craft are flying over the town. Sightings contacted local residents who have startling home videos of UFOs they just can't explain.
New Mexico as a whole has had a lot of sightings. And I think that there is a tremendous
There's Dick Dietrich.
interest by
Remember
our
him from that?
visitors, should we say,
That's what we should watch,
as to
Nightstand.
the activities that have taken place here in the past.
Here, just a stone's throw from Midway, near Roswell, New Mexico, a suspicious crash landing in 1947 launched
Roswell.
modern interest in ufology. The Air Force insisted it was a downed weather balloon, and despite persistent rumors, continued to deny any knowledge of alien craft or life forms. But many people who live and work here believe otherwise, that this new flap of UFOs is connected to the original Roswell incident. Jose Escamilla owns a videotape facility in New Mexico and has shot hundreds of hours of beautiful southwestern scenery. But on March 5th, 1994, Escamilla saw
Nikki
his
Bella.
first UFOs. He immediately began videotaping.
We have a piece of film of a jet. I think it was a Citation that flew right over the property. I guess it must have been about 500 or 600 feet. And we captured an object that comes from upper screen right on TV. And it goes right up behind the jet, and it seems to tag it on the tail or bump it.
I don't
And
see.
you can see the object taken off away from the jet.
I saw something for like a fraction of a second.
Because of his video background, some people were suspicious of Escamilla's footage. Local news reporter Lachelle Yates launched an investigation.
Are you going to start crashing out about it?
And the crash. We thought it was interesting that here is a man who is capturing
Lachelle
something
Yates.
unexplained on videotape. So we went out and videotaped in the same place that he videotapes, and we got identical objects on our video. So we feel that he's not tricking us with, you know, any video scam or anything. What he has captured on tape, we feel is authentic.
To date, Jose Escamilla
Looks
has
like
logged
Steve
more than
Kern.
500 hours of UFO videotape.
Every time we get a new tape and we find some new kind of object in there, there's an excitement that builds, and it's just like incredible.
Well,
I've never
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you have to switch off your genuine concern and like trying to help. It's just you have to know where to channel that. You're never going to get if that's your real mindset, you're never going to get that with HFF or the Thorpes or Ruby or VP. Like you're going to want a completely different kind of creator if you're looking to like participate in a way that's going to have a positive outcome. Or you know what I mean? Like these people are not open to, you know, they're not going to change because of us.
Seen anything like this in my life.
You subscribe to
From the
Vinny
film
Slugga,
footage
good
I've
deal.
seen, there appears to be some type of intelligence behind the phenomena they represent.
Now, what would it take if we could get could we get a commercial at the Corvette from Lee telling people to please sub up to Vinny Slugga?
A true enigma deserving of scientific scrutiny.
I think there are creators who do, you know, genuinely want advice and whatnot from their viewers, but
Jim
I just don't think
Delatosa
it's anybody that
specializes
we
in
watch.
computer-assisted analysis of film and videotape. Sightings asked him to examine a large sampling from Escamilla's footage. He has found a number of unnatural flight patterns.
What we find, you'll see, is that the object comes right in
Yeah, I
front of
love
this
Night.
telephone
Yeah,
pole
Nightstand was really
and
good.
then
I bet we could
moves
probably
right
watch
up
that on here
and
sometime.
over top of the wires and out of the frame. Now, in calculating
Well,
this
Luke West
distance
ain't in
from
here.
where it comes in over the trees and by analyzing the edges and going up over the poles, it's about 900 yards. And in that period of time, it's moving well over 3,000 miles an hour.
Healthy weight force.
There are at least 4
Yeah, these
military
people
bases
want
that
like,
are known
or
to
more
use the
after like
airspace over this
attention
part of New Mexico.
or social
And Area
interaction
51, the
or,
supposedly
you
non-existent
know,
Air Force
money.
testing facility would be only 10 minutes away for a stealth
Although
flight.
to be fair, like I really feel like a lot of the people that I watch on the Boyd don't really e-bag. Like, I don't know. Based on what I remember, Ben and Grace didn't really ask that much, didn't really ask that often. VP just has her thing up like passively. HFF doesn't really.
Unidentified craft like these, government built and run. The Pentagon isn't talking.
Luke
When it
West is
comes
stretching
to
his
trying to get this
earlobes.
information,
He's at the
Air
big
Force will
ear,
come back,
big ear hole.
on an initial generic request stating that they have no information. This is a lie. The proximity to
The big
military
ear.
bases in New Mexico and Escamilla
Oh,
making
wow.
these videotapes is not just a coincidence.
Howard
it
Stern?
follows a pattern.
Skeptics offer this as proof that UFOs are actually military aircraft. But much of Escamilla's footage reveals silhouettes and velocities that are not only unidentified by eyewitnesses, but also unimaginable by current standards of technology.
Crash course on streamers and panels. Yeah.
I'd like to find out what they are, period. If they're top secret military aircraft that the military's testing.
I mean, if
I
I
want
could
an
do
answer
it, I
why
could
they're doing
run
such
a couple of
dangerous
them through
things out there, like
copyright and
bumping
see
their
if
own
they
jets.
allow it. But
That's
yeah,
number one,
I would
but
watch that.
If they are not, okay, I'd like to know what they may be.
Jose Escamilla knows that not everything he's capturing on videotape can be an alien spacecraft. But he
UFOs
believes
are
that his
milk. That's
video
what I
journal
feel
of
like.
The skies above Roswell is an important research tool for ufologists. It is the only comprehensive catalog of rare daytime activity anywhere in the world.
Coming up next, a psychic
Murder
detective
in
goes in
Nag's
search of a
Head.
brutal killer.
I would suspect this is someone capable of becoming a serial killer.
Then, what do these people see and feel that you can't?
The
And
Seventh
Sightings
Sense.
update. The bizarre cattle mutilations continue.
Wow.
The growing number of psychic phone services and storefront card readers is calling into question the integrity of professional psychics. But on Sightings, we've found that there are a few gifted individuals who do make important psychic contributions, especially when it comes to providing new leads in an unsolved crime.
This has been a very frustrating case. Potential suspects that we had early
Lieutenant
on in
Cliff
this case
Midget.
have been eliminated.
I believe in what I can feel and touch and smell and hear.
Detective Tom
but at this
Gilliam.
point in the investigation, I'm not going to rule out anything that might provide a lead.
I believe that Nancy Myers
Dammy
will,
Daber.
come up with something. I truly believe in my heart.
By her own description, Nancy
Oh,
Meyer
look at
is
that
a
nice
wife
walk
and
on
a
the
mother.
beach.
But to the Nags Head Police Department, she is a ray of hope. They've never worked with a psychic detective before, but one murder has remained unsolved for more than a year, and the trail is growing cold. It happened here, on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Nags Head is a popular resort area, and in August of 1993, the town was crowded with vacationers, enjoying the last warm weekend of the summer.
Are you on
But
Discord,
there was
Luna?
trouble ahead.
That's probably the best
A
way. That way I
hurricane
can.
had made
It's real
landfall
easy for
down
me to
the
record
coast and
Discord.
was heading north toward Nags Head. That
One
night,
of them was called
everyone
Evidence,
was talking about the
or
impending
something
hurricane.
like that.
But just a few hours later, that would change. They'd all be talking about the young woman
Is that
from
guy
New
Amish?
Jersey they'd met in the bar. The young woman who was now dead, brutally stabbed.
My sister Janet was one of the kindest, sweetest people you'd ever want to meet.
Robert
she
Ciclare.
had so many friends and was liked by everyone.
She was a very, very strong person. Very fragile, very loving, that's for sure. She had such wisdom about her that I loved.
That evening after dinner, Janet and two of her friends went to the Portico restaurant
I have Discord. I don't have a Discord.
and stayed there for several hours. Her two girlfriends left an hour or so earlier. Janet stayed until closing.
Janet was staying with her brother at the Hotel Carolinian. She got back around 2:30 in the
Welcome
morning.
to the Hotel
went up to her
Carolinian.
room and told her brother that she was going down to the beach to have a cigarette.
This chick loves to smoke.
Once she left the room,
White turtleneck,
we
long
really
brown
don't know
hair. New England area, heavy smoker.
between that time and shortly after 6 o'clock in the
Fragile,
morning, she was
must be
brutally
Italian.
murdered on the beach, just a short distance east of the motel.
I ran out the door onto the deck.
Uh-oh, here's
There
Ciclare.
was
Look where
police
he's at,
everywhere, you
man.
know,
What a
restraining
nice
me, not
place.
letting me up to the beach. And I
Looks
said,
like one
"My
of the
sister
retirement
hasn't come home.
communities
You know, she hasn't come
we
home."
see in the Boyd.
And they wouldn't let me up on the beach. And in my heart, I knew that poor Janet was gone.
It was the grisliest murder Nags Head had ever seen, and the police department was immediately hampered by two
They
factors
need to
that
think
were out
about
of their
their
control.
drainage situation. Are you
Vacationers
seeing
and
this?
seasonal employees were leaving in droves. Summer was over, and by day's end, the entire town was being evacuated. Hurricane Emily was on the way.
Beach smoking,
On
yeah,
August
dream
the
girl.
28th, Saturday
Well, the
morning,
downside is she lives in an RV
we
with her
completed
dad.
the crime scene investigation and started interviewing potential witnesses. But on Sunday morning, we were put on hurricane standby and watch and started evacuating the area.
Hurricane Emily not only swept the murderer out of town, it swept away any trace of his heinous crime. The blood-soaked sand in front of the hotel washed out to sea, and with it, valuable clues the police would never recover. The hurricane left a clean slate, a detective's worst enemy.
Doing his interview at the golf club.
It's been a very frustrating case.
Yeah, there
The
is his
fact that
evidence.
Nobody that we've contacted or we've spoken to has seen anything. Nobody's
Listen, I
heard
read this
anything.
whole book. It was
Anxious for
called
new
Evidence.
leads,
Goddamn,
Nags
there
Head
wasn't
police
none in
put their
there.
skepticism aside and allowed psychic
We had to
Nancy
close the
Meyer to take
case.
a look at the case.
I started working in police work 19 years ago. There's energy in every murder scene. When I look at
Oh
stacks
boy,
of
here's
photos of a
future
murder scene,
Ruby.
I am not trying to look at this.
This is
poor,
actually like
battered
Lindsay
body.
Valandry vibe with that
What I'm
wicker chair.
looking for is somewhere when that photographer moved all the way around the body, he stood
What a
exactly
character.
where the killer
Wow.
was at a moment when the killer was open. Bam, I'm in there. That's why I need those photos. He has a long-standing hatred of women.
Ruby admitted that the RV
A veil
didn't
comes
smell
over his
bad.
face. There's no expression. The eyes are wooden.
We have to take
Nothing will
Ruby at
stop
her
him.
word.
I would say you are dealing with a very disturbing.
So you're trying to solve a murder.
I would suspect this is someone capable of becoming a serial killer, if he is not already.
Nancy Meyer has worked on over 300 police investigations. Unlike other psychic detectives, she does not become the victim or the killer. Rather, she draws psychic pictures from crime scene photos. She told Sightings these photos were the most brutal she'd ever seen.
Photo after photo after photo. There was a
Well-
personal connection. She has known him for a while.
You said that this was a planned event on his part?
Yes. He seems to have been watching her earlier in the evening, but at a good enough distance so that no one, because some of the people she was with might have recognized
Wooden
him.
eyes.
So he's watching at a distance.
So he had parked his car in the parking lot.
Dale Earnhardt.
He seems to have walked a little bit to get to where she died.
Nancy Meyer worked with a police sketch artist to create the portrait of a killer.
He has like light brown hair, grayish eyes. They look kind of like a cross between gray, blue, and hazel.
In addition to this sketch, Nags Head police detectives
Looks like
believe
a
that Nancy
combination
Meyer
of
has
gray,
provided
blue, and
important
hazel.
new
Okay.
leads.
Mrs. Meyer's involvement in this case today is the first opportunity that I've had to work one-on-one with a psychic. And quite frankly, I didn't know what to expect. She was able to tell us a great deal more information than I had ever hoped for. Personally, the person responsible for this crime, I think the state of North Carolina should make good use of its death penalty.
She's here with me every day. I see her spirit, I know, and that's not without. I feel her. She's with me, and I know she keeps on telling me, Mom, don't worry. I'm in a better place. And I know she's with the angels. And
She drew the detective.
As in any profession, there
Oh my
are a
gosh,
few
what a
unscrupulous
story.
psychics out there who prey on emotionally vulnerable victims and their families. If you're thinking about consulting a psychic detective, it's important to choose wisely. Don't pay any money up front.
Just
And
like
work hand in
the
hand with local
default
law
character.
enforcement.
Next, they hear colors and taste shapes. It's being called the seventh sense.
It's
Oh my
not
God.
imagination, it's a different type of reality.
Imagine experiencing your five senses all mixed up. Suddenly you feel colors, you hear shapes. A friend's voice tastes like buttered
I just
toast.
saw Dutch
These are
Mantel
all
has a video
real-life
called
experiences of a rare group of
The
people called
Self-Destruction of Matt
synesthetes.
Riddle.
They have a rare brain condition that mixes up all five senses and in some cases, reportedly, heightens a sixth psychic sense.
It was a beautiful, clear night, and I heard a warbler off in a tree, and it was sending little blue bubbles off into the air.
I was seeing these flashing images and pictures and all of this thing in my mind.
If I'm introduced to someone, I can usually recall the name because I get an aura, a color.
These people are experiencing the world differently from the other 99.996% of us. They're not hallucinating, imagining, or pretending. They have synesthesia.
Synesthesia is an involuntary joining of the senses.
F Dutch,
Now,
what do
you
you
know the
mean?
word
Why?
Anesthesia, okay, which means no sensation.
What? Why? Fuck,
Synesthesia
why?
means joining.
What's wrong with Dutch
sensation.
Mantel?
It's not imagination, it's a different type of reality.
When Harry Gilbert hears sounds, he sees colors and shapes. It's called colored hearing, and is the most
Colored
common type
hearing,
of
I
this
think
most
that's going to cause some
uncommon condition.
problems.
If I heard something like a dog barking, it would depend on the dog. It would depend on the bark, because a woof woof sound
Harry
would be
Gilbert.
kind of a big smoky gray, like pepper, like the pepper that you pour out of a pepper mill. Whereas a yipping dog might have small, isolated little white shapes that come out.
Dr. Richard Sightings
What
is
utter
a neurologist
bullshit.
and the world's leading authority on synesthesia.
Synesthetes' memories are extraordinary. Sometimes they're even photographic. As a group,
Oh my
synesthetes
lord,
have
these people
a
are
higher
attention
incidence
seekers.
Of unusual experiences, clairvoyance, precognitive dreams,
Racist
empathic hearing,
ears.
deja vu. But these are not crazy people running around the street hearing voices. These are very bright people who,
No,
for
they're-
all the world, appear normal.
they're
except for
seeing
this
voices.
very peculiar and fascinating way of perceiving the world.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Synesthete
drug-induced
Jane
thing to
Gossage
me.
Bowerman tries to translate her experience through painting. This is what the classical music she's listening to looks like.
I can do a painting and look at it, and I don't have a clue how I did it because I don't know anything about painting.
Looks like
I
a
couldn't
butthole.
possibly
This
draw
pervert
anything my little 3-year-old
gets on
did.
TV,
I
draws
couldn't
this
have a
huge
clue
butthole.
How I did it.
How
because I
rude.
don't know anything about painting. I couldn't possibly.
Jane Gossage
draw
Bowerman,
anything
the
my
wife
little
of
3-year-old
legendary pitcher
grandchild can
Goose
draw.
Gossage.
I don't
Wow.
know how to do it, but I do know
Drawing
how
the
to draw what I see.
drawing the
The doorbell
starfish.
rings, and she sees a series of triangles. Okay, here's a screech makes a stack of colored lines, like a stack of pancakes in a way. And what synesthetes see are elementary geometric things.
Man,
here,
you can
know,
just say
dots,
absolutely
triangles.
anything.
They're seeing sort of the building.
Where did the
blocks of
monocle come from?
Dr. Saito
seeing sort of the building blocks of perception. They're seeing sort of the building blocks of perception. They're seeing sort of the building blocks of perception.
Sorry.
Dr. Saitoic first began studying synesthesia.
All right,
in
sorry, I
earnest
had that
after a chance
just
meeting
really
with a neighbor.
hit right for me, that
My
monocle
neighbor,
falling
my
off.
new neighbor invited me to dinner in North Carolina and delayed us sitting down to the table with the apology that there aren't enough points on the chicken. Now, most of the guests just thought he was being silly, but I questioned him a bit, and after a while I said, "Oh, you've got synesthesia, taste and touch." And his response was, "You mean there's a name for this?"
This incident inspired the title of Dr. Saitoic's definitive book on the subject. In it, he chronicles the way the brain can create its own separate reality.
Now, Michael Watson, who is literally the man who tasted shapes of my book's title, for him,
Tasted
the taste of
shapes.
mint was a cool,
He's like,
smooth,
I see a square.
curved
It's very minty.
sensation, as if reaching out to feel the backside of a glass column.
Dr.
Wow.
Saitoic was surprised to find that most synesthetes don't realize that their perceptions are extraordinary until someone who doesn't have it tells them so.
I first realized I had synesthesia
You want a
from,
monocle
when
now?
I was 28.
I can't believe you said F
And
Dutch.
a friend and I were trying to recall someone's name, and I said, "Well,
Oh, I
it's
remember
sort of a
that's
green
incredible.
Cast," and she said, "What are you talking about?" And that was the realization that I was seeing something different from what she was seeing, or she didn't have that sensibility.
Yeah, the monocle is just
Gwen
like,
Glogie also
it's such a immediate heel move. And I love how they kept it in the editing when it fell off.
expresses her experience through painting.
When I'm reading or when I see words or when I am spoken to, I get a fabric of many different colors. And I think I would be devastated if I woke up tomorrow morning and everything were in black and white.
You see, when people ask me, they say, synesthesia real? My response is, well, real to whom? To you or to the people who have it? And you see,
Oh my
this
God.
insistence on a third-person technological verification of any experience before accepting it as real really gets to the heart of how addicted
Dirty
we are
Dutch.
to the external and the rational. And that really sweeps aside all of the kinds of knowing.
Synesthesia helps me play music because partly it is a way I remember things. Once in
See,
a
I
while
think
I'll
I
hear
have a
some-
version of this because whenever Grace eats Takis or she puts unloads the dishwasher or rolls cigarettes, I can see all these you know, hallucinations.
Sound in a song that will make a vivid color that stands right out, and it makes me want to play it over and over again.
Dr. Sightings estimates that as many as
I
1
have
in
grace
25,000
amnesia.
people may have synesthesia and not know it. And those
That
that
butthole
do,
painting
feel
is
blessed.
absolutely ridiculous.
Far from being some esoteric curiosity that's
my
really
God.
unimportant, synesthesia turns out to be a peephole on a huge amount
Yeah,
of
we saw the
mind and
peephole.
brain.
What does it feel like to have synesthesia? Well, we can never experience what they experience, but we can glimpse it through the work of some famous synesthetes. Visual artists David Hockney
You have
and Vasily
you have a
Kandinsky,
big ear then.
and composers
You'd be a
Sergei
good volunteer
Rachmaninoff
at the big
and
ear.
Franz Liszt.
Next, a sightings update. The mutilations continue
Oh,
in New
great.
Mexico, and
Why couldn't
ranchers
we
want
end on a
answers.
positive
It's a
note?
crime. They're taking my living away from me. It's just outright thievery.
Well, we're gonna have to have
Eli
a
Hornick
palate
is a rancher
cleanser.
in northern New Mexico who has experienced the horror of
I
cattle
can't leave
mutilation
on cattle
firsthand.
mutilation.
Recently, Hornick participated in a sightings investigation of animal mutilation in the Southwest. Since his participation, Hornick informs us that the mutilations have not only continued, but seem to be increasing.
The tongue was missing. The
Oh
meat,
my God.
after we'd cut it open, looked like it had been cooked or something.
Oh,
When we found the animal, it couldn't have been there
I'm trying not to
no longer than
look.
12, 13 hours, because I was there at 6:30 in the evening. I was back there at 7 o'clock the next morning. It wasn't maybe 600 yards from the ranch house. And this animal was it had been mutilated. There's no blood, no tracks, no sign of nothing. And this animal was already decomposing, like it had been dead for 4 or 5 days.
If it was satanic cults, you'd have blood all over everything. If it was predators, you'd have blood all over. These cuts are very uniform.
To hear others
very
eat, drink, or
smooth.
chew gum.
The eye looks
I
like
know
it's
you really
just been
complained
sucked
when I
out.
was eating
It's a
chips
pattern
the other
that
day.
continues to be all too familiar for many ranchers in the Southwest. And now there's a strange new development.
Why'd they blur that guy's
We've had
face?
a disturbing new trend where ranchers inadvertently are
Chupacabra,
touching
I mean,
these
that's the
carcasses,
obvious solution.
and they're developing what could be, I guess, likened to a chemical-like burn.
Where are
I
we?
stuck my thumb in the animal's mouth, and when I stuck that my thumb in there, well, it burned for about 2 weeks.
Well, I believe this guy.
I
He's
mean,
wearing a
like
neckerchief.
I would say it would be like a battery acid burn or something, you know, like that.
Since our last report, the border area between New Mexico and Colorado has been hit hard. Ranchers
It's hard
there
to draw
tell sightings
ethical
that
lines
animals
in
are
wrestling. I mean,
decomposing
it's
at
just
an
all a
unnaturally
big
rapid
fucking
rate,
disaster.
and the body count is up.
We're having mutilations that are occurring
Unfortunately.
on almost a weekly basis.
They seem to be expanding outwards from this area. About a week and a half after the sighting segment aired, we had 2 cases in Saguache County, Colorado, which is about 80 miles north of here.
I think they're
Ember,
coming
what
down
if you
out of the
had
air with some
super
kind of
smell?
equipment, picking them up, taking them.
What do you think the proximity would be to the Thorpe RV
Eli
for you to
Hornick
pick
is
up the
fed
scent?
with the seeming lack of interest in his and other ranchers' plight.
The Mountie.
Mutilation reports gather dust on government desks, while animals continue to die. And even as the number of dead cattle rises, official interest in the mystery is declining.
Somebody somewhere in this country knows what's going on. I mean, it just seems like every time we try to do an investigation,
It's
try to
probably
get
the
something started,
Hearts.
it comes to a dead end.
Or
We
Dynamite
can't get
Kid.
senators, congressmen, you know, it just get a lot of
Valley
publicity, but it
Mystery.
just dies. You know, it doesn't seem like, you know, it's a crime.
What a
You know, this is
downer.
real monetary value. This is my living. You know, it's cost me thousands of
Oh
dollars
shoot, my
already.
internet's slowing down.
They're taking my living away from me. It's just outright thievery. Why isn't somebody doing it? Something about it.
Our government has the capacity
Hang on. I don't know why my thing is messing
to
up.
monitor
Sorry.
any square acre of ground in this country if they want to. If they are not part of the problem and they are truly as baffled about this as the ranchers and investigators like myself are, let's catch whoever or whatever
Half a mile.
is mutilating cattle.
Ranchers and private investigators say they smell a rat. They are beginning to believe that there is a government conspiracy of silence at the heart of the mutilation phenomenon.
We was cutting hay in one of the meadows, and this helicopter was right there. It looked to me like a big military.
Maybe that's who's
type
behind it,
helicopter.
is the
No
insurance
numbers.
people.
And that night we had a mutilation.
They're like, you got a nice,
Scared to pay attention.
you got a
They're
nice, what do they
scared.
call it?
This is something of the unknown.
Herd of cattle.
And they just don't want to
Be
get
ashamed if
involved.
anything happened to it.
And
Be ashamed
it's
if there was a
very frightening
chupacabra.
thing especially when you see these things. You know, my God, they could come after me. Maybe they'll start on humans next. I hope not.
Finally, someone in Washington is taking the cattle mutilation problem seriously. This is a letter written by New Mexico Senator Pete Domenici requesting that the Livestock Board provide him with a detailed status report on the progress of their cattle mutilation investigation. For ranchers like Eli Hornick, it's the first sign of official support for a phenomenon that has plagued them since 1967.
I don't know what the problem is.
If you've had a paranormal experience, call the Sightings
Very
hotline
expensive,
at
yes.
1-900-933-SIGHT. That's 1-900-933-7444.
You don't think it covers the
Each call
chupacabra?
65 cents a
Yes.
minute. Average call lasts 3 minutes. Sightings
Land
is also
barons are
online.
responsible.
Our email address is sightings@aol.com.
Until next time, remember, no mystery is closed to an
open mind.
For Sightings, I'm Tim White.
All right, so I don't have time for another full episode, but I do want to do a couple real quick, very short palate cleansers. What's that guy's name? Okay, let's see here. This is only 4 minutes, then I got a 1 minute one to show you. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
And 5, 4, 3, 2,
This is a quick update from Luna
1.
from the chat.
Hey guys, Luna Star here. Lee Cypress will be with me tonight. We just want to say thank you guys for 317 subscribers. Keep subscribing. We do update videos, concerts, tailgates, karaoke, makeup tutorials, jewelry tutorials, music reviews, everything on the channel. We're doing really good and stuff. This Saturday we got karaoke night, but this Friday we have to go see Apocalyptic Society in concert this Friday. We're looking forward to that. And then Thursday, it depends what time my king comes home. It depends. We might
My
be
king.
going to karaoke night. We might. We gotta wait and see what happens. I'm not saying no, I'm not saying yes, but we just gotta wait and see what happens. But keep on subscribing. We have to go see a concert Friday night. Then Saturday we got karaoke night at the 910 Legion out there in Jonestown.
Jonestown.
We got a karaoke night and stuff. We love singing karaoke. We love doing all that stuff together. We love spending time together. Last night we watched the movie Liar Liar last night.
There you go.
With Jim Carrey in it. That was a good movie. We're doing good and stuff.
This is from 28 minutes ago.
Today I got my Aussie glasses. I have 2 pairs of Aussie glasses. I have these ones. I have the other ones over there and stuff. But we're doing good. We love each other. We trust each other. We take care of each other. We're doing really, really good. We just want to say thank you guys for 317 subscribers. Sunday, we go watch NASCAR on Sunday.
Okay. That's new. NASCAR.
Then, September 20th, we go tailgate, Slayer, Exodus, and Suicidal Tendencies in Hershey. We get to do that. We're going to be looking forward to that and everything. We're very happy to be together.
Hell yeah.
We love each other. We will spend time with our friends and our family. My grandpa came home last Saturday from the hospital. He's doing a lot better. And last Saturday we went to a cookout. That was fun.
At Greg's.
Then what we did, I heard one of her friends, J-Rock and Mandy, are having a baby.
There we go. Okay, the J-Rock
next
news.
year in February.
Great update.
4th is when they are doing stuff. And then in my family, my cousin Heather is going to be having her baby too. So there's going to be 2 winter babies next year and stuff. But thank you guys for listening to the Rock and Roll Cavern. So here we go. Remember, keep your horns up. Keep out of trouble. Stay in school. Have a nice day. Have a nice fall day. Have a rockin' 2025. Love rock and roll. Have meals here to stay. Bands here to stay. Keep going to rock shows. Keep dressing like rock stars. Keep spending time with your family and your friends. They love you. We love you guys too. Don't forget to like, comment, share with your friends. Subscribe to Luna Star and Lee Cypress. Ring the notification bell. We'll see you guys in the next one. So, peace out. Luna Star and Lee Cypress out. Oh yeah, let me finish that. Yeah. We're also going shopping Sunday. We're gonna go food shopping, and then I'm gonna
Lee's like, hey babe, don't forget to tell him we're going shopping.
get my skull pendant on Sunday. So, peace out, everybody. We love you guys. So, peace out. Luna Star and Lee Cypress out.
Wow, what a video, what an update. And if you're not familiar with Luna Star and her king, Lee Cypress, I covered Luna on a Boit Watch. She sang Dead and Bloated at karaoke, and she was like super enthusiastic, but everyone else at the establishment was just like trying to eat dinner and stuff. It was a really funny video. And I guess Luna saw that I had noticed that I covered her, and so she's become like a regular in the chat now. All right, we're going to end it on... we're going to take a look at this. We're going to learn how to make a mango peach sangria, and then we're going to go.
Now, because Bryce is a huge fan of Bobby, I'm going to show you how to make it both ways, with and without alcohol, because, of course, Bryce has to have his kitty cocktail. This is just 1 cup of frozen mangoes. You're using the fruit instead of ice. And this is 1 cup of frozen peaches. This is a beautiful color sangria. Now, this is 1 cup of peach schnapps. Now, if this was for my 6-year-old nephew, Bryce, I would substitute peach nectar for the schnapps. Then, I'm going to use 2 cups of mango nectar. And nectar is just a much more concentrated
mango
flavored
nectar, guys?
juice.
Come on.
And then for Aunt Sandy, a bottle of white wine. But for Bryce, this would be, you know, a bottle of sugar-free lemon lime soda.
Sure.
Give this a stir. Now, you can leave this in the refrigerator for all of these flavors to meld together, but I'm going to have cocktail time right now. Now for the taste test, the best part of the day.
Time for the taste test.
This is one good sangria, Bobby.
Perfect. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be, you know, one of the most important days in American history, September the 11th, which we will all remember as the day that we watched the last new episodes of Primetime with George Dorunda. I don't know. I think it's going to be a very interesting stream. And then Friday, we're back in Memphis for wrestling. Saturday is the return of Boit Watch Live, including some very interesting new folks. But I'm going to go. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you here tomorrow for the end. It's the end of Primetime, guys. All right. I'll see you later.